Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonios fell on their final game before the All-Star break to the Dallas Mavericks, 116-93. Wemby had a heck of a night, 26 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists, but didn't get much help. Kyrie and Luka doubled up for 61. The Spurs are now 11-44 at the end of the break and are 1-4 on the rodeo road trip.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, everybody gather up on me. It's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. I'm a little itchy this morning. Welcome aboard what will be a fantastic Thursday expedition into the sporting world. RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, finally attired in a San Antonio Spurs shirt as they head into the All-Star break with 11 total wins. I'm Rob Thompson. I know where my car is. E. Edwin Hafner on the other side of the double pane glass. Hope everybody had a phenomenal and wonderful Valentine's evening, whatever that entailed, whether it was an evening of romance or an evening on the couch watching the Spurs get smoked. I hope you had a nice night. Enjoyed your chocolate and looking at your flowers.
We have something that I'd never seen before. So I'm kind of curious if you've experienced it in your
been a lot of places, done a lot of things, RJ.
So it's a heart storage container for chocolates, obviously, kind of a classic conventional thing right now.
Does it have the legend of the chocolate on the inside of the box?
It's not that kind of chocolate. It's not like they're not naked chocolates.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? These are like Kit Kats and Hershey's, you know what I mean, in the heart. But it's an entirely dark chocolate box.
Oh.
It's like everything in it is dark chocolate. I'd never seen a dark chocolate Kit Kat before. I've seen dark chocolate Hershey's bars, obviously, but I had never seen a dark chocolate Kit Kat.
You know why?
Yesterday. Why?
Because they're awful.
I don't think so.
You really like dark chocolate? There's something like I'm down with mole. I'll eat it. But there's some I'm eating chocolate for a reason, not to be surprised by the dirt flavor.
I don't think it tastes like dirt.
To me, it does.
I think you've got an.
If you had your choice between white chocolate, which ain't chocolate, and dark chocolate, which is totally chocolate, which would you prefer?
If I had my choice between dark chocolate and regular chocolate, I would pick dark chocolate.
Really?
It's better for you.
Well, I didn't. The dark chocolate. I
conditioned myself to like it more
with the super candy cherry and the cherry cordials or whatever. Those are just. Ever accidentally bite into one of those?
No, but I do have a candy complaint. It's not a grievance, and it's not a complaint because my wife gave them to me. Oh, they were really the leftovers of the
Morning Funk Attack
of the gifts she assembled, from my son to his teachers. But they were these lollipops, but they were heart shaped, and they were so widely heart shaped.
You couldn't get them in your mouth.
They almost look like Mickey's head.
Yeah.
And so I put the lollipop in my mouth, and I was trying to I was like, what's the best way to let this hold? Because I was working, and so I had my hands here, my hands there, and I was like, this is really uncomfortable. Like the way this is sitting on my mouth.
Bridle in.
Exactly. It was a difficult proposition, but I survived nevertheless.
Did you? I failed this year. I had a lovely card, and my wife is not a big flower fan. She's like, well, don't waste all that money. They're gonna be dead soon enough. But that's about all I managed to do. Did you do better than I did? I didn't do flowers. I did a card. I cooked. We didn't. We had one of those. We had put one of those chuck roasts in a crock pot. So we didn't have even a fancy meal. We just kind of gathered around a little peck before went to bed. That kind of stuff.
We had a nice chill evening. And we were getting prepped. for today. For this morning, I was telling you.
It's a big morning in the Ochoa house.
Yeah, our puppy, we have 2 dogs. Our puppy, Honey, he's getting fixed today. And so we were kind of planning, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to go. I was telling you that when our older dog got fixed, it was right at the beginning of COVID. And, we'd been delaying his getting fixed.
Right.
But then he swallowed a button that was on my slipper. And but it was like it was metallic, like the button. So I took him in. They did an X-ray, and sure enough, it just like lit up right there. So they're like, we got to go in and get this. And they're like, and since he's going to be under, we might as well do this.
Clip his wings, baby.
I was like, Bear, dude, that button, you're going to pay a price.
Sure.
And
if he had it to do over, that button wasn't worth it.
And so it was a more intense recovery for him, just because it was like an abdominal scar. So I think this should be pretty straightforward for little Honey.
Do you have the cone already prepared, or do they? We use the cone for about. Well, you can buy that like that travel pillow now.
That's what we did,
right?
Because when Bear came home we brought him home with the cone. It was just so uncomfortable for him. So we got that pillow, but we got Honey a smaller one, so it's ready to be inflated, and ready to keep her away from messing anything up.
What we go through for our pets. Speaking of pets, we have a brand new pet defensive coordinator. He was announced yesterday. Mike Zimmer stood in front of the crowd and answered appropriate questions with appropriate answers. We're going to look at everything he had to say, read between the lines, figure out how the hell we got here, as Mike Zimmer is now official. Next step, free agency, and fill in the void that has been left by Dan Quinn's exit. We'll talk about what he had to say. We also got to hear from the head coach, buy in on him. McCarthy talked about being all in. And some other stuff.
Buy into us.
Buy in on him, man. They're fast forwarding. They're going. If you watched past the first quarter of the Spurs game, it didn't end very well. But the first quarter, woo boy, they brought a knife to a gunfight, and for the first quarter, it worked pretty well. The Spurs collapsed over the following 3 in biblical proportions. They lost all muscle control and forgot how to shoot for a while. And
have you ever seen the meme? It's like from a local news, broadcast, and it's how sometimes in the news has somebody on the phone, they'll have like a graphic that shows like who's speaking and kind of transcribe what they're saying. And so the like top, like the framing of it was man who was stabbed.
Okay.
And so like this is the man who was stabbed speaking, like talking to somebody, and he goes, "What are you gonna do? Stab me?" And I feel like that's what happened to the Spurs last night. Like they were like, "What are you gonna do? Just like score a bunch of points while we do nothing?" Because that's
the only way you're gonna beat us, you fools. I was so excited last night because I felt like I had actually said something smart yesterday on the show. I was like, I can't wait to see Jeremy Sohan lock up on Luka. And for the first quarter, I was like, go ahead, J-Man. Sohan the Barbarian, which, by the way, I like. And when we air our grievances, I got some grievances that go far beyond just the play of the basketball team. Sohan the Barbarian lasted a quarter, and then it was over.
Our WhatsApp was kind of popping off. Jason said, Spurs are playing well, and then he just put dash energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it wasn't like they have energy, they're full of energy. It was just energy. It was like the transitional strategist type thing, energy, you know what I mean? And man, did that fade away.
I had an old basketball coach a long time ago used to scream at me, Thompson, are you a player or a participant?
Oh my gosh.
I think the Spurs participated for 3 consecutive quarters. They were willing participants, but they weren't playing, at least by what most coaches' definition would be. We'll look exactly at what happened there. Look at the league as we sit today. There's some talk up at with the athletic director of the University of Texas up there at 40 Acres in a town hall yesterday. He said he's working to do something that was probably going to get done anyway. We'll give him credit for at least voicing maybe a change of date for the Texas A&M TSIP game. coming up in the vicinity of Thanksgiving next year. Del Conte said they trying to get it moved back to Thanksgiving night, which is where it should be, which is where it was. And I had heard that was going to happen anyway. But thanks for loading in there, Del Conte. We appreciate your help. So that might happen. Also, a 9-game schedule might be imminent for the SEC. We'll look there. The Athletic. That's the article I read. But more importantly, the NFL has invites to the Underwear Olympics, otherwise known as the Combine. We'll tell you who led the college football ranks in invitees. No surprise there.
I think that the Combine is people love to talk about how the NFL has, made just an incredible living at making content out of nothing.
True.
And people always cite the schedule release as the primary example.
Because the way they drip it out.
Well,
here's your third home game.
Well, they'll be like, oh, they've made just telling you dates an event. And I agree with that. But I think the Combine is the bigger thing. I mean, because they act like, it's a big deal. Obviously, I'm not trying to dispute that. It's exciting for these young players, that are going to hopefully be turning professional. But I mean, they really get all juice out of the Combine. I mean, this is, and then they're like, well, we might move it. It might be somewhere else.
Where there might actually be sun.
Yeah. But no, we're going to be in Indianapolis. So wait till you see all the people we invited. Then you're really going to freak. That's what's happening here. We're freaking. This is the biggest invite in sports used to be the Masters. They post the pictures every year. No. I got an invite to the 2024 NFL Combine. Everybody watch out.
You get a backpack full of swag if you get invited. You get some cool stuff.
That's true. It's probably some headphones.
A
koozie, some wristbands, some stickers.
Never discount how valuable that kind of stuff is.
I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying probably a phone charger.
Oh, yeah, I would hope.
A battery pack.
And what's the brand du jour of your favorite drinking glass other than Stanley?
I mean Yeti.
A Yeti, or what's the one that we got out of Minneapolis? What's that brand?
The Swell.
The Swell. You get a Swell for something like that.
Yeah.
Well, we got to
get Madden, last year's Madden or something like that. Yeah. I mean, so
you get invited.
You get a backpack, I'd imagine.
That's what got Tom Brady to the Combine. Because it certainly wasn't to show off his athletic prowess. It was to get the free swag and the mental evaluation that we all look so forward to.
Picture of Tom Brady at the Combine
next year. And watch Rich Eisen run yet another 40. And eventually there's going to be a blown Achilles. Eventually it's coming. So that'll be yet another chapter in the ongoing NFL coverage of the draft. We have your coverage of the Mike Zimmer press conference yesterday. The Cowboys got every bit of him. His name is Mike Zimmer. He is the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. And by his measure, he is not a jerk. We'll talk about it and hear from him next. This is the Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa, and I myself am Rob Thompson. We will be back in just a bit here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I woke up this morning and awoke to water in my face from the Connecticut water softened shower. I hope you get the glory of that every day, because that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. By the time the water hits your face, it's already done its job. If it hits your face and you don't have a Connecticut water softener, it's left a lot of grit in your pipes. And I guarantee you there's some dust or this white stuff that's on your dishes right now. And you probably don't realize it, but there's this gunk on your skin and on your hair that you don't realize you got until you're using a Connecticut water softener. And then you realize, my goodness, what was I showering with? There's so many benefits to a Connecticut that you don't realize till you actually have one. It was designed with San Antonio and South Texas in mind. Whether you're over an aquifer or over a well, you need a Connecticut. They got styles and flavors to fit just about everybody's needs, from the newest and hottest to hot water on demand and all the other special stuff, and one that just carries the basics. They got what you need, and when you get it, it'll be the last one you ever own. They say it, I believe it. A Connecticut's the last water softener you're ever going to own, but you got to get one in your home. The Knippas know that. So if you'll call 656-PURE today, they'll come out to your home, post haste, and put a Connecticut in your house, and you'll find out for the next 90 days without any kind of commitment what I'm talking about. And on that 91st day, just like me, you're going to be a Connecticut water softener customer for life. Remember 656-PURE. For all the details what I'm talking about, go to ConnecticutSA.com. But I'm telling you, call Connecticut today. Put the very best water softener you can get in your home without a penny out of your pocket. And I know you're going to be thanking me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair?
What do you mean? Does it not look good?
It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month, and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Hebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tax day is coming.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up for Robinhood Gold's IRA with a 3% match, you can get up to $195 for the 2023 tax year.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up at Robinhood.com/boost by tax day to get the biggest contribution match on the market. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial, LLC, member SIPC.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Huddle up! The Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. RJ Ochoa, Rob Thompson with you. Well, it's over. The puffery, the drama, it's all over. The press conference was held. Zimmer's here. RJ, in our planning, I was reading something that you wrote down, and I'm curious what your So let me get this straight. You never liked the process, though. While the process wasn't perfect, the outcome might be okay.
This is probably the best that I felt about the Mike Zimmer reality situation. Pick your word du jour. In the last 10 days or so. And some of that is just a natural human reaction to, being swayed. I think he said some things that, made me feel things on Valentine's Day. But he also said some things that made me roll my eyes. And I think that he and Mike McCarthy together said some things that made me roll my eyes. But I also couldn't help but, watching their press conference together, think that these are the two dudes. I mean, it's all, an almost 30-year drought kind of hangs in the balance on what those two dudes can kind of cook up together. So I really hope that we were staring at Walt and Jesse, so to speak, up there on the dais.
You're going to have to clarify Walt and Jesse to me and others.
Well, Walt and Jesse are the primary characters in Breaking Bad.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Who
Walter
were
White.
known to cook, in their own in their own way.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, I'm a little slow on the uptake. It's 6:24 in the morning here on San Antonio Sports Star. What struck me, it felt like Zimmer did a lot of the same things that McCarthy did in his off time. In fact, Zimmer talked yesterday if he and anything like McCarthy during that time off, if they spent time building a barn and watching tape.
Oh, I did some of that. A lot of it, I did a lot of reflection on what my time in Minnesota, the 8 years, the things that I felt like we did good, the things that I felt like I didn't do as good, trying to figure out, how I can be a better coach in the future. Obviously, there was always some tape watching and things like that. Marvin Lewis and I was a great friend. We did a podcast, and then afterwards we'd sit on there and we'd watch tape together and talk about players and talk about schemes and things like that. But a lot of it was reflection on what I did well and what I didn't do well.
So Zimmer did a podcast, RJ.
All right. Now you're in my territory, Mike. All right. I'm the blogger around here. All right, let's put some respect on what I do if you're going to do this. I mean, I'm not trying to act like he has forgotten how to coach, but that he did say some inspiring things, I thought. And I did a reaction video on the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel and also wrote about this at blogontheboys.com, but this was not among the more impressive notes, I thought. And I think the Cowboys coaching staff, at least the foundational layers of it, are sort of born of Marvin Lewis. It's an interesting person to kind of consult for the most important people to run your organization, given that he was obviously had a big hand in the Mike McCarthy hire, and obviously now the Mike Zimmer one. And I think that we tend to just say, oh, the Bengals never made the playoffs under Marvin Lewis. I once said on this radio station that the 2015 Bengals had the best roster in the NFL. And you and Jason laughed at me. But that was true. That roster was stupid loaded. And Marvin Lewis was a big reason for that. And so, I mean, that was impressive. But doing a podcast is, congratulations, Mike. You learned how to use GarageBand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that anybody's like super impressed by it.
The way, we talked about players. I thought he was going to say in restaurants and our favorite movies. It was really quite good. We did it on Thursdays. We used this thing called Zoom, and it was fun.
Sometimes we did it while playing Fortnite. It's just guys being dudes,
just hanging out being dudes, and it was funny. We had a writer for a former writer with the Athletic, Arif Hassan. We asked him a couple of questions about Zimmer, and he said a lot of the things that Zimmer said. So that did make me feel a little bit better in the press conference. But there was this underlying theme that you brought up first, and I had forgotten what Zimmer was like, and Arif brought it up as well. That Zimmer's a kind of a hard ass, a jerk. That's a lot of people feel that way. Let's get to this. Is Zimmer yesterday talking about? Yeah, I'm not a jerk.
there's a reputation out there that I'm a jerk or something like that, which, hey, and it is what it is, I guess. But you know, since it was announced that I was going to be here, I've heard from so many players that played for me. Players here, not just defensive backs, but linebackers and defensive linemen texted me and said how happy they are for me. And I think if I was such a jerk, I wouldn't be hearing from those guys.
My dry cleaner was happy. I got this job.
Mike, dude, this didn't slap the way you thought it would, man. I mean, so this is DallasCowboys.com's headline on their Mike Zimmer story. Woodson, talking about Charles Woodson. Woodson says DC Mike Zimmer isn't gonna be their friend. That's DallasCowboys.com's headline. Kevin Sherrington's headline at the Dallas Morning News: why Mike Zimmer's fiery personality is exactly what the Dallas Cowboys need right now. I'm assuming that none of these people were among those who texted Mike to congratulate him. If you have to tell people that you're not something, whatever that something is, you probably are a little bit of that something.
You're kind of a jerk. That's okay. That's the reason you're here.
Yeah, you know, everybody needs a heel. You know, like they needed a bad cop. It's cool. Like let's just be straight up about it. None of us are dumb. You know what I mean? We can all accept it for what it is.
Now, what would be the most important thing, or maybe I shouldn't put it that way. What is Mike Zimmer's job one? What's the first thing he's got to do?
I mean, I think it would be to be a jerk. I think it would be to come in and kind of hold these dudes accountable. I think it would be to come in and I'm not saying that we likened Dan Quinn to Chuck Daly yesterday with the Dream Team. And you can be Chuck Daly if you've got, you know, dudes who are kind of hardened, like the actual team, not the Dream Team. You know what I mean? And but the reality is the Cowboys aren't like that. And you can say, well, that kind of sucks that they need somebody to keep them straight and narrow when it comes to discipline. And yeah, it kind of does. It'd be nice if you didn't have to worry about that. I don't know that you do with other teams, but you need it right now. So like Mike, be a jerk, you know. Rob, do you know how to jerk, Rob, the dance?
Of course. I'm 57.
You know that's a song, right? You're a jerk, 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 jerk. That's who Mike Zimmer. Be a jerk, dude. That's what we wanted.
Clean some things up. McCarthy talked about coaching against Zimmer. He possesses several pitches in his bag.
Oh yeah, I mean you remember plays and games, but you know I think if you would ask anybody during my time in Green Bay, you know Aaron Rodgers, the whole staff, and so forth, you know Mike was always the toughest to play against. You know, and I think anytime the division games are the hardest, clearly, but they're always extra tough against Mike. You know, particularly just the way he would lay out the defense. You know, the change up calls and a lot of things in football. Everybody has a menu of things you look at, but he has a great fastball, great curveball, and a sweet changeup. So that's the way I look at it.
He's a good-looking man. He can cook a fine steak too. Did I mention that?
There's nothing like the cross-sport reference in a world of sport. You know what I mean? Like when people talk about point guards, he's the quarterback.
Oh yeah.
There. Just you're actually talking about a sport, right? Like you could just talk in the terms of the game that you're actually in. You don't have to, whatever. But pitchers and catchers have reported, so maybe it was an apt comparison from McCarthy.
As far as getting his jobs done and getting things taken care of, he spoke on talking with his most important defensive player, Micah Parsons, his plans on him, and I thought his answer for that. I liked his answer regarding Micah Parsons. We'll hear that in the next hour. But coming up. The free agency is starting to shake out. We're seeing players that are available, NFL teams who are in positions to go get some things done. Not just the Dallas Cowboys, other teams need some things as well. And they're doing some things in San Francisco. Did they do it too quickly, though? The guy who lost his job. We're talking NFL. The gumbo is hot. Go grab your crackers and the Tabasco. We'll be right back. It's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, you got this to go play some cards? I hope so, and I hope you know where to go. That's SA Card House, 281 in Bitters. These card houses are popping up all over town, and they're all offering you the games, and you know where you can go for that. But what separates one card house from the other? Well, there's the things that I look for that, it's a general level of comfort and fun that kind of roll into the cards itself. I want to go to a place that I feel comfortable. I want to feel a place that's open when I want it to be open. I want to go to a place that is inviting with the dealers that know what they're doing and the protection and the safety that's required when you're dealing with the money. All of those things roll into the perfect place at SA Card House. And then I go to, how am I going to be treated as a private club member? Well, there is the restaurant. I don't have to be a member to dine there. I have to be a member to play there. You can go eat at Foster's whenever you like, but Foster's is available while I'm playing, and it's not just pub grub. It's posh nosh. It's good food. And I also want to be taken care of as a member. There should be some perks, some benefits, right? Well, that's where SA Card House is the best in town. Just for being in the building, just for sitting down and playing, there is so much money to be won. They've got games and different tournaments going on constantly for those that are members, like the Love It or Risk It that's going on all February long. It's going on 24 hours a day over the weekend. There are 696 total hourly drawings, $350 $100 cash up to $35,000, 171 Risk It value, $100 cash and 100 time or take a chance Risk It on the tumbler up to $34,200. That's just for playing, whether you're winning or losing. And of course, like Valentine's Day, it can be a bad beat. And they've got bad beat tournament going on all month long, Aces full. If Kings are better, 5,000 bad beat table distribution. If you're the loser of the hand, you're taking 40%. That's just for being there. You want to go play cards, whether it's cash games or in the house, you need to go to SA Card House. It's at 281 in Bitters. Treat yourself. Go get some of the fine food at the grill and have a nice card game. Meet the folks out there. That's SA Card House. Head out there, have yourself a good time, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs play their last game before the All-Star break in Dallas. We'll react to everything that happened in Big D.
Last night on the basketball court, we'll stay in Dallas. More reaction to Mike Zimmer becoming the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys and the things he said yesterday. Plus, we'll talk NFL with the great John McClain at 5:15.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
The final horse now in the gate, and they're off. They're starting off with a double toe loop jump, leaving a difficult 7-10 split. It's this movement on the inside rail. Only 9 pins separate them now as they head to the final quarter mile. They're neck and neck. It's down to the last frame. Here comes the axle jump. They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Win, strike, savings, gold.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Okay, everyone gather around. I have some exciting.
Running her shoe factory, Kendra talks the talk and walks the walk.
We're switching to green energy.
She needs a biotech consultant to erase her carbon footprint.
All operations will net zero emissions.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, what's up? I'm Elle Duncan, host of the Elle Duncan Show. If you're looking for a podcast that gives you a little bit about a lot and a lot about nothing, you've come to the right place. There's pop culture, there's sports, really anything that we find particularly interesting that you're talking about on social media. And oh yeah, I do it with this guy named Gary Streisky, who's a homie.
Hey, Elle, what's going on? Thanks for the mention. Can I get on the graphic now?
No. Follow and listen to the Elle Duncan Show wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks, Jim. You'll get here about noon. It's the Morning Huddle. RJ Ochoa, Rob Thompson with you. Yesterday, it obviously worthy of discussion, but this is a feel-good show. The tragedy, what happened in Kansas City, is all too familiar to so many of us. We all feel terrible. All I can say is go vote. If you're mad, go vote. Go vote your conscience. It's up to you now. No more thoughts and prayers. That's going to go out for sure, but that's just not enough, is it? We had the same thing at the Nuggets championship parade. It's going to get to the point, RJ, that while we might not be able to do anything with laws, if I am Pat Mahomes' insurer, if I'm insuring his body and his persona, his life insurance, I'm going to have a rider in there. Guess what, man? I can't have you on the top of a bus. I can't have you in front of all these people. The only time you could ever be in public is when people go through some sort of magnetic check to make sure that you, my insured, are safe. Now there's millions riding on you. I can't have you out there. I can't have Kelsey. I can't have any of that because you might get shot.
I mean, there's nothing I feel like to say that hasn't been said,
right?
By people who are much smarter and more eloquent than I am. But I mean, it was the 6-year anniversary of Parkland. When yesterday, we were talking when we were in Las Vegas about the shooting that occurred there.
Yeah, as we stood underneath the Mandalay Bay windows.
Right. I mean, it's just. I mean, you lose track of how many and the sights and the horrors. It's really difficult to compartmentalize and to process and to think about on what should undeniably be just a completely joyful occasion for there to be such horror and chaos and devastation is just really difficult to comprehend.
That being said, here we sit. Now, Travis Kelce came out with his brother on his podcast. I appreciated the fact that he'd gone a little far and he admitted the fact, but that just kind of signals the beginning of the next season. As he said with his brother, while his brother's retired, Kelce's coming back as long as Reed is coming back. We heard from Chris Jones. He said he's coming back to Kansas City. It's just one last ride to get that, for lack of a better term, three-peat.
What would be the better term?
I don't know. I mean, because there hasn't been one. It's been 40 years since we've been talking three-peat. But no, every time you put it on a shirt, Riles gets a little bit of money.
You teased this before the break. Yesterday afternoon, as the Mike Zimmer press conference was being held, it was revealed that another team across the NFL is now in need of a defensive coordinator. The San Francisco 49ers fired Steve Wilks, who's really just kind of gotten raw deal after raw deal in terms of his NFL coaching experience. Do you recall that he was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals when they drafted Josh Rosen, and they fired him after 1 year, and obviously Rosen was bad. They hired Cliff and drafted Kyler Murray. He was the Carolina Panthers defensive passing game coordinator and secondary coach in 2022. And then after Matt Rule was fired, served as their interim head coach. And a lot of people thought he would get that job because they were, all the players went to bat for him. So then he landed in in San Francisco last year. I know you love you some DVOA. All right. You want some DVOA numbers?
Yeah, that's just about as valuable as 20 assists in a game, but let's go ahead.
That is so rude. San Francisco ranked 4th in defensive DVOA last year. Granted, they ranked 1st in 2022. It's hard to be that good. They trailed only Baltimore, Cleveland, and the Jets. And the Jets, who are led by Robert Saleh, by the way, former 49ers defensive coordinator, they were 5th 4th in total defensive DVOA. They were 4th in pass DVOA. They were 15th in rush DVOA. So a lot of people, kind of an average sort of rush group is my point. And a lot of people rightfully pointing out, man, this dude got fired after the Super Bowl, and they really put the clamps on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And they really, he wasn't responsible for Christian McCaffrey's fumble, and he wasn't responsible for, them choosing to take the ball and not knowing the overtime rules, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, I don't know the Niners as well as some people. And, our buddy Rob Stats Guerrera, we were talking about this on Wednesday, and he was like, look, this looks really bad given the context of the moment. He was like, but like everybody thought he was going to get fired in the middle of the season. Like this kind of tracks with who they were over the whole season, not just, this past Sunday's game.
There's a lot of folks that are upset that Wilkes got fired.
I mean, that's fair.
Really?
It's hard not.
They're angry, but first of all, you know how you got this job. You're stepping in to follow up several dudes that were spectacular, but still unsuccessful. Saleh was great. D'Amico Ryans was great, but they didn't get the job done either, but they got head coaching jobs. The expectation was for you to be equal to that, but plus, and you weren't. He's a hell of a defensive coordinator. He's going to get a job fast, but I'm not surprised. He's got terrible taste in jobs is what he's got.
I don't think that's
fair. He does. And look at where he's gone before. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time repeatedly. It's not so much about what he's done. He's just choosing to go coach in war zones.
So there was a joke, or I would say Cowboys Twitter was joking. You obviously watched the Mike Zimmer presser, and I know we carried it, but do you recall his phone ringing or his Apple Watch ringing?
Well, I heard it. Yeah.
So his phone rang, and then I'll give Mike this. It was really funny how he was like, that's somebody calling about a job. That was a real smooth way to handle that. But also, it's like Mike Zimmer strikes me as the kind of person who would have the volume on his Apple Watch turned all the way up. You know what I mean? But whatever. That's besides the point. Anyway, a lot of people were like, was that Steve Wilkes? Was Steve Wilkes the person? But I mean, it could be. You know what I mean? Like, it could be the Cowboys have a role on defense as their passing game coordinator. Like, why not? I mean, if you're to your point, Rob, if he likes war zones, welcome to the Cowboys.
Exactly. I mean, some people thrive in chaos. And for the most part, wherever he's been, they lost or there was a house cleaning, and it wasn't because of him or his department. You know what I mean? And so sometimes, just like some guys, or some people, they just have horrible tastes in jobs and significant others. you just watch him and go, yeah, you did all you could, but you just chose the wrong thing. And he stepped into the breach in San Francisco where the expectations were through the freaking roof.
I think that I still think you're being a little harsh on him. He's a good coach, man.
He is.
I mean, so I talked about it. He was the interim head coach. The Panthers in 2022, when he took over as interim, and it was like 5 minutes into the season when that happened, they finished 18th in defensive DVOA with not a lot of talent. I mean, that was ahead of Houston.
This?
Grant, this was in Carolina.
Oh, okay. There's no chaos there. Well, okay, so Carolina had chaos.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is like he has a proven track record to some degree. I mean, he can look. If we're gonna stretch ourselves to talk about how Mike Zimmer or Ron Rivera or whoever can be great on defense, like Steve Wilkes can absolutely be that way. Alexandra says in the Brigade Bar that Steve Wilkes was the ultimate scapegoat. I don't know that I don't know that I feel that way, because again, I feel like it was tracking for him to be let go at the end of the season throughout the season. But I do think it was convenient. Yeah, you talked about after the Cowboy season ended how you wanted blood. You wanted blood.
Yes.
And I think, Steve, so I think scapegoat is just a little unfair because he was not super great. He's very good, but it was convenient timing, I think, for Kyle Shanahan. I think to be like, here's your blood, get off my back. I know that I didn't know the overtime rules, but
and there's you brought it up, the convenience and the timing of things. One of the things about when you watch people go through hard times, the old sayings about hard times make hard men, you get stronger. Watching Shanahan go through this, there's a lot of finger pointing coming from him. There's not a lot of, this is on me.
Dude, nothing is ever that dude's fault.
I'm telling you, man, I'm getting a good read on this cat. He's a front runner. He's a front runner.
So,
and some people are good at that. That's fine. But when trouble comes around and the first thing you start doing is we planned for this and it's not our fault and it's his fault and that fault. And I don't know, man. I can see why 49er fan is a lot better than Shanahan than I expected. But I'm starting to get a measure of him.
Have you seen that they've tried to walk back? He has that they did know the rules and all this stuff. I mean, they're trying to put this toothpaste back in the tube, but I mean, so look, I know I've offered my fair share of conspiracy theories, but a lot of people have said, I don't know how much of this you've seen, like, well, how did the NFL have a camera on Dre Greenlaw right as he got injured? I know how, because it's the Super Bowl.
There's 100 cameras.
Yeah, there's 500 cameras. Like there are cameras the size of belly buttons these days. Like there are cameras everywhere. That's how they had the camera on Dre Greenlaw. But so on that note, yesterday the NFL released, and I think it was Inside the NFL released sounds and mic'd up and everything from the Super Bowl. And man, dude, this is a hard watch if you're a Niners fan, because I don't know how much you or anybody else saw. But so they go to overtime, and Mahomes and everybody are discussing on the sideline as they're getting ready for the coin toss. They're like, okay, we want to kick.
Right.
And they go out there, and Fred Warner, calls tails and then wants the ball. And then Mahomes is running back, and he's like, they want the ball.
Those idiots.
Like, they're celebrating. and then the camera pans to Kyle Juszczyk, who's on the sideline. And literally on the sideline, helmet over his head, about to begin overtime in the Super Bowl. And he says, wow, if we score a touchdown, they still get the ball back. I didn't know that. What? How is that possible, dude? I mean, and I know people are sitting here saying, Rob, like, it's not that big of a deal. It didn't affect the strategy. Dude, it's a big deal. Like, you cannot tell me that you were underprepared for something like this in the Super Bowl. Like, to your point, Kyle Shanahan needs to take some more heat.
At the end of the day, I'm not upset that the players didn't know or that they weren't told I'm upset that Kyle, the strategery behind it, he screwed it up. Now, all the players had to do is go out and do what I tell you, but he screwed it up. The fact that Juszczyk didn't know, what? That's on you, bruh. You just go out and run the plays I call.
No, it's not. It is to a degree.
There's professionals. You did. I knew the rules. You didn't.
Rob, we knew the rules because the broadcast, we have the benefit of the broadcast reminding us of those things in the moment.
You're a professional football player. Read a paper.
It still looks really bad. Again, it looks bad that the Chiefs know the rules so deeply that as they're getting prepped for it,
yes,
they're already ready from a strategy standpoint.
I will agree that they are more professional at their jobs, and they were told, or they went and did their own research and found out there'd been a rule change. They read the letter from the union that I'm sure was sent to every player. Yes, they knew it. I'm mad, just like every 49er fan should be, but I'm mad at Kyle because he did it wrong, not because he didn't tell his players.
I still think you're not applying the proper analysis here. Do you remember what I said this week about what I love about the Super Bowl?
You're right. You love it because everything's at the nth degree. It's the Super Bowl for everybody.
So, right. It's literally the biggest possible thing that anybody involved can ever be a part of in terms of their professional, careers or whatever. So how could there be anything related to what happens in the event that would shock you, that would surprise you, that you could conceivably say, I did not know that was the case. That's impossible to have. I mean, if you did not know for that, what is the test that you would have to take in your life to have full and total understanding of the material if it's not the Super Bowl?
It is absolutely fair. I completely get it. I just think in the hierarchy of things that were important to me, it was more important that Shanahan screwed up than it was that he didn't tell his backup left guard that there's 3 possessions possible.
Wow. So Steve Wilkes was the scapegoat, though.
Oh, he's a scapegoat from the get-go. Wrong place, wrong time, Steve, but you're used to this. You'll land on your feet. Chaos awaits. Hey, we're going to continue talking what the Cowboys are doing and look around the rest of the NFL. But yesterday, Chris Del Conte, he is the athletic director and billionaire franchise runner there for the Longhorn football program and the rest, says the SEC is working on a 9-game schedule, and one of those games coming up next year will involve a Thursday possible game instead of Saturday. We're talking A&M Longhorn football next. This is the Morning Huddle. He is RJ. I am Rob, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The boys are back from Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
You heard the big game on Sunday, and the boys made it back thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds and presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Next year, it's off to the Big Easy on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at MrElectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221. I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
To Jackson last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener, or online at tricountymeat.com.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, when we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
Now is the best time to buy a Kinetico water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Kinetico at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Huddle up. 1 hour's done, but we owe you 3 more. Coming back, we're talking silver and black. Aggies and Longhorns. Looks like what was initially scheduled to be a Saturday game in November, as the rivalry is reborn there in College Station, might change, might go back to where it should be, Thanksgiving night. That's in the works. SEC is also going from that 8-game schedule that is scheduled this year and next to a 9-game conference schedule in 2026. That'll take away one more of those paycheck freebie games that's floating around that every major college is accustomed to having or offering those other schools. We'll continue talking that and more, but coming around the bend, the break is here. The All-Star game is nigh up there in Indianapolis. A couple of Spurs are going. They could not stack a win up in Dallas. We'll look at what happened. He's RJ. I'm Rob. You're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Silver and black coming your direction. Hydrate and carbo load appropriately. We'll be right back.
.94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
We used to fight chickens in Oklahoma until they got
What?
busted up by the cops.
Grown people fighting chickens?
Yeah.
You don't fight the chickens yourself. You let the chickens fight each other.
Oh, okay. Okay. I would watch that. It's kind of off balance a little bit.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more select OSB sheathing. Plus, save 10% on bulk purchases of Hillman galvanized fasteners. Visit us in-store or online for the materials you need. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-721-9205 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-721-9205 right now. Don't wait. Call 800-721-9205. 800-721-9205.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, days after their loss to the Chiefs, the Super Bowl in overtime, the 49ers have fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. Shanahan said that Wilks' system didn't align with what the 49ers had used previously and what now Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans and Jets head coach Robert Saleh had done previously as the defensive coordinator. The Spurs fell to Dallas.
Wemby goes behind the back heel. For the jam by Wembenyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather on us. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. He manages the editing of Blogging the Boys. I am Rob Thompson. I know where my car is. Easy E. Edwin Hafner on the other side of the double pane glass, preparing for a long day. As if you're going to be tuning in this evening for extra innings, you're not going to get it. James Pledger is going to be over his skis, and I mean that in the truest possible sense. He'll be out for the next couple of days, enjoying some R&R rest and relaxation up there in New Mexico. So Easy E has packed a lunch. He's staying all day, baby. So be kind.
Be well, Pledge. Be well, Edwin. Be well, everyone.
So let's wake Easy E up off the top of the bat. As soon as we're done with this, I've got some tickets to give away to Steel Panther. So hang around at 7:26-ish for all you morning crew who have tuned in for insightful and delightful talk. We got some tickets for you as well. So Easy E, hold me to it. Let's give away some tickets. But first, the silver and black as we see it. We're 55 games in. Well over halfway, but it is ceremonially the end of the first half of the season. That's how we look at it. And here the Spurs sit dead last in the West. 11-44 is their record. unable to stack 2 wins, though it started out nice. The Spurs up in Dallas land in the first quarter looked like the team we saw in the previous, who controlled from wire to wire, played a fine basketball game against the Toronto Raptors, but they're only good in the Great North. They came back on the other side of the border and they played typical Spurs basketball for 3 quarters. Couldn't shoot, hit the side of the barn, although Wemby continues to impress and looks mighty hot, mighty good going into the medium magnifying glass that is the All-Star game up there in Indianapolis.
Totally. Look, I don't know that anybody should have any negative things to say about Wemby. It's difficult, I think, to see the forest through the trees a little bit on him sometimes just because of the season and how horrible it has been. And I think we're so quick as a society to establish microcosms. Right? A lot of people like to, like even Patrick Mahomes on Sunday night. Yeah, this game's like a microcosm of our whole season. Not everything's a microcosm, guys. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we all learned that word and we're all looking for opportunities to use it. But I do think that last night was a bit of a microcosm of what the Spurs season has been. It starts off super hot. We're all excited. We're sending some texticles around. Everybody is super into it. Jason Minix's exact words: Spurs playing well, energy. And you could feel it. Do you know, Rob, we've played this game before, the last point in the game in which the Spurs had a positive win probability?
I would say 11 minutes into the first.
And it was quite a bit after that.
Really?
Yeah. So they stormed out. I mean, Dallas kind of began the game with a positive win probability for obvious reasons. But San Antonio overtook it. 6:01 in the first. Spurs jumped north of 50%. It was 21-10 San Antonio at that moment in time. And we had a little bit of a kind of, sine, cosine, depending on your vantage point sort of curve here. But it wasn't until 5 minutes and 7 seconds left in the second quarter, in the first half, that the Spurs held their last positive win probability of the night. It was 50-43 at that moment. Spurs 50.2% win probability, still north of 50. But after that, there's a little bit after that, but still, then Dallas took hold and San Antonio was really not in it in the entire second half.
So the first quarter for Spurs fans, it was kind of fun. They bump out 32 points, 4 of 10 from the 3-point line. They're dropping dimes, 10 assists, 4 turnovers. And a nice lead of 32 points as they looked big, they looked fast, they looked aggressive. The
Dimes
next 2 quarters
is way overglossing what Wemby did.
Oh, did you want? He made the Sports Center. Have you seen the top 10?
Yeah,
this morning.
So
the no looker.
I don't think even calling it no look is enough. It was a no look, behind the back, weird angle, bent over type pass that was like on a rope. I mean, it was incredible what Wemby did.
And his numbers bore it out. First quarter, spectacular. The next 2 quarters, the Spurs went 2 for 21 from the 3-point line. And those 2 came late in the third. They basically missed 18 straight threes. I mean, it was a collapse, the likes of which it was a bricklayers union, man. They weren't even close. I credit them for keep going back to the well. I mean, it wasn't for lack of attempts. It was just as bad a shooting exhibition as, well, we're accustomed to it, but it was a complete and catastrophic failure. And by the beginning of the fourth, the game was done. The All-Star break was imminent. Everybody was on their phone, Travelocity, making sure the reservations
Travelocity. Oh my God.
They were on booking.com, kayak to make sure they had the best deal. But the All-Star break had begun by the beginning of the fourth quarter.
So did you see the video that Mike Finger tweeted out, the slow-mo analysis of Wemby's block on the alley-oop early, but again, when everything was still good.
When we were still winning early on?
Yeah, so Luka tosses up the alley-oop. I'm playing it right now just to kind of give you a little play-by-play. And he's very aware, Luka, is that Wemby's right behind him. And so he's very careful to toss it up and avoid Wemby. And as he does, he thinks, I'm good. And as the oop is in process, Wemby just jumps up and says, no, thanks.
I'll get that one too.
The seamlessness to which this dude can just exist in the airspace of the entire court is unbelievable. But I mean, so like this is just I can't ever recall a sporting experience like this where I'm so excited about something, but I'm just so devastated by what's happening all around it. You know what I mean? Like it is a really hard back and forth of emotional tug of war that happens almost on a nightly basis here.
It is difficult to watch and enjoy the greatness that is or that is becoming. And then everybody else around him, he's clowns to the left of him, jokers to the right. To coin a phrase.
It's tough, dude. This was like they were never close. Like it's so I mean, it felt like, I blinked and it was like, okay, it was 50-43 and it's like they're down 80-52. Like what what happened here?
Well, it's a 32-point third quarter. It's what'll do when you get 14. It gets out of hand fast.
I mean, dude, how it's so
I want to talk about the play that you just brought up. And now the Sports Center top 10 list will have the over the shoulder boulder holder pass, whatever he did, behind the back push. And what struck me with that pass when you see it on the Sports Center or wherever you find it, his arms are so long, he almost could have handed it to him. It was his arm just kept going. And finally the ball was released about 4 feet from his body. And Champagne, to his credit, hit the three. But the play prior to that, the alley-oop, the Luka play where Wemby is trailing. When you play basketball, one of the things when you're on the court, you probably heard it, somebody screaming wolf. When you hear wolf and you're dribbling the ball, that means somebody's coming to take your lunch. They're coming from behind. You hear wolf, somebody is coming to get it. So that's kind of your ears are, well, Luka heard wolf from somebody and did the right thing, but the wolf kept coming. The wolf got the pass too. You brought up a play that when I watched it, I had to pause it and go back. I've never seen a player able to defend the beginning and the end of an alley-oop.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, that's why I was so appreciative of my finger for tweeting it out the way that he did, because the defense of the alley is not like overwhelming, right? I mean, it's simply like Wemby's just existing. You know what I mean? I don't want to overcredit Wemby at this point. He's lightly jogging behind Luka at this point in time. But again, given who he is, I mean, he's defending it by simply existing. But you're right. Like when Luka lets go of that pass, he's like, I'm good. He's like, we're straight. Like what could go wrong at this point in time? Like nothing bad can possibly happen here. Which is again exciting to consider. I mean, this is a baby not even learning to walk. Like I mean,
seriously,
like learning to just. Like this is the baby rolling over on their tummy, and you're like, "Whoa, you have
that was
the
really
slightest sense of mobility."
Right. That was really good. And you're only like 4 days old, and he's already kind of jogging around the room. I'm a little afraid. The stat line is just brutal. When you pull out, just go to the box score, and the Spurs offered you 36 of 100 shooting. They were 10 of 40 from three. And thank you, Malachi, for showing up in the fourth quarter. It would have been worse than that. They only had 9 turnovers. But they only shot 15 free throws in a 48-minute game. Now, you can blame the refs for this. No, that's not the refs. That's you not being aggressive. That's Keldon going 1 for 11 from the field. That's Keldon. I was praising Keldon for starring in his role. That he's a pretty good 6th guy. He's a pretty good, let me come in and dominate the offensive side for a little bit and see if we can shake something up. He's been pretty good at that. Last night, he was not. And it's that inconsistency that just kills you. Here's what's starting to kind of gnaw at you. I don't know how deep most of you guys are into the Spurs, but there's a lot of different great resources to kind of dig into the film and look at what the Spurs are doing. I saw a film breakdown of a couple of plays that the Spurs are really good at it. Floppy is a term that, we used to be down with the 4-down kind of play. Anybody who's been following the Spurs, where floppy is kind of a Spurs basic play and things are built off of that. And it's kind of a high pick and roll thing. I'm starting to wonder, Pop has all the credentials in the world, the good to better, better to best, this offense that we have seen perform in its very purest form 10 years ago. and how hard it is to meld yourself into this amoeba of an offense where you're in the right place only because all four of you away from the ball are all in the right place. And if one guy's in the wrong place, you're all in the wrong place kind of thing. I think, are we teaching master's level basketball to freshmen in college? I mean, are we expecting, can't we go a little bit easier? Can we just run a little bit of stuff to kind of highlight what skills we've had? I'm tired of watching guys look lost.
It does, on some level, it feels like maybe you just need to teach them basketball.
Smart plays, not the play, but just smart plays. Smart play.
Like if it, they call it 101 for a reason. You know what I mean? Like this is an intro course. You know what I mean? Like there's no need to act disingenuous towards the overall process here. And I do think that I don't totally blame Pop for this, but because it's hard to water who you are down. You know what I mean? And it's hard to not have expectations of professionals and things like that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you kind of got to recognize what you're working with here. And it's
we had given up.
This isn't Rob. I think the best you're Bobby Flay, right? That's who you are. You're used to I always find it amazing, like the level of kitchenware they have, and like they never have to do their own dishes. Like it must be nice, right? Like you're Bobby Flay, and you're a world-renowned chef, and you have to teach these would-be cooks to do this and to do that. But the problem is you're not on Beat Bobby Flay, where you're getting the best chefs in the world. You're on Chopped,
right?
You know what I mean? Like like you're on Chopped, and it's like, hey, dude, we need you to make something amazing out of Fruit Loops, cottage cheese, and raisin bread. You know what I mean? Like, so we're not here to work on our chopping techniques and what is it called when you chop something really finely? What's the word I'm thinking of?
Dicing?
No, there's a julienne. Is that what it's called?
Well, that's the julienne. It's kind of like French fry. It's very thin fry.
That's what I was thinking of. Let's just say we don't need to be teaching julienne here. We just need you to take these ingredients and make something edible. That's literally goal number one right now, and we're missing that in a lot of respects.
Now let's talk about the one good thing we've got, and that's Victor. Because again, he is shining, and now that's 2 consecutive games where we're getting not only a pretty consistent 3-point shot that's opening up some things offensively, but because of that 3-point shot that people are going to consistently charge out at him, he's able to put the ball on the ground and get the ball a little bit further in on that second level. And that's where he is the best passer for the Spurs, facing the basket, not at the rim level, but that second level free throw or the elbow on the paint. He is a brilliant passer because he's so tall. He can see over and down. And he's pretty good at getting the ball to you. He understands the bounce passes, those little nuances that a lot of guys have to learn. He's already got. And it's because of his ability to pass the ball, and it's because his ability to protect the rim that I just can't fathom the most basic question: how can he be so good and the team be so bad?
It's a unique combination of factors,
well,
right? Like
it varies from game to game. There's 100 reasons why this team is bad, but when it comes down to it, they're just not very basketball smart. There's a lack of just innate, this is what I'm supposed to do. And some of it is they're trying to fit into a system that is so difficult to learn.
But that's the thing, like, who cares about the system now?
Well,
I mean, because Wemby is the system, and the system that it will become is not existent yet. Like the system is what Wemby is with Trae Young, or Wemby is with whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like the system isn't even.
I am a system.
Like
wrong guy.
Like we're trying to build the second floor of the house when we haven't even bought the lot yet. You know what I mean? Like we still have to look through neighborhoods and check the school districts and see if the restaurants nearby are what we like. We can't be like, oh well, let's go buy the couch for the loft. What? You know what I mean? Like we have so many other problems to address before we get to that point in time. Like we have to kind of come back down to we have to learn basketball. Look, guys, this is the NBA. The goal is the ball in the hoop. That's where we have to start.
First and foremost, shot making, and Pop talked about it.
I saw a lot of good things, but
did you?
Shot making wasn't one of them. You know, today's league, you can't be 10 for 40 and have a decent chance to win a game for sure. So
what league could you?
It's a lot of defensive transition, that sort of thing. But
hustle.
We took great shots.
Want to?
You know, you got no problem with contested shots or anything like that. That's not what they were. They're wide ass open, and you know we didn't make any of them. So that's going to put you in a hole. And on top of that, you know, I thought Luka and Kyrie, you know, they played like Hall of Fame players.
Oh,
they were fantastic. They were really something. We couldn't do anything with them. But so a lot of good things from the young guys that we can build on. Just have to keep shooting the shots. They don't go in if you don't shoot them. So it just makes it a tough night.
See, no coach is ever going to be mad at you for missing shots. I mean, they'll talk to you and we'll work on form and all that. But, you know, shots are a fluky thing. And sometimes there's a lid on the basket. But when, you know, you're not going to win 10 for 40, you know, you're not going to win. But he also brought up that second little thing, and he didn't bring it up enough. Transition defense, which is just just either get the offensive rebound or get back. One or the other. And they're not doing anything. They watch the offensive rebound hit the ground. It seems like a third of the time. And then as they watch the ball hit the ground and that next outlet pass goes, 3 of our 5 guys are watching the play and they know the player's name because they're looking at it. They're looking at the guy's last name because they're not in front of them. They couldn't tell you the team. They can tell you the name because they're looking at it as they're running down, watching the guy lay the ball up. It was, that's the thing that kills you, the effort.
It's a broken team. I mean, like, it's a broken team with one amazing superstar. I mean, that's really what this is. Have you seen, I brought up a meme earlier, the what are you going to do, stab me meme? Have you seen, there's a really popular meme. It's like I don't know what kind of car it is, but it's like, let's call it a Ferrari. It's like a Ferrari in like a rundown house. Have you ever seen this before?
No, but I'm with you.
I mean, it's like a $100,000 car in like a shack of a carport. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like with a house that kind of matches the carport. And people will you know, present this meme and they'll be like, Wemby on the Spurs. You know, like that's kind of what it is right now. It's like, I mean, it's just he can only drag. I wouldn't even say drag. I mean, because I think he's pushing. I think he's not dragging implies like pulling against their will. I think that they want to be good. I mean, you know, I don't think that the attitude is horrible or anything like that. I think that it's just that they're just not talented enough. I mean, and that's okay. Like that's not a demerit or an indictment against them by any stretch of the imagination. But you know, you actually, and we've talked about this with Devin and how, you know, Pop has kind of set him up to be, and you've talked about it a lot with Jeremy. Like you actually set them up to look worse when you put them in these positions, because then we have to sit here and talk about how they're not good enough when they can be viable and can be viable NBA starters or, you know, serious members of your team night in and night out. And so you're setting them up to look, you know, like there's a big gap between them and the field by trotting them out there every single night.
And onward we go. Coos, you're right. It feels like they're take 6 or 7 games to build up their game breaker. Appreciate the video game reference. If you got something to say, you can reach out a lot of different ways. 656-3776. We love to talk to you. And we have a standing rule. You get there, you wait, you're on. But it's also always easier, we know, to go to our YouTube feed and connect with us there. But to do that, we would appreciate if you would subscribe. We keep climbing. The numbers are good. We want more. We are just a few away from another one of those goals that, you know, those
Rob, I have
our social media types are chasing. We're getting close to
I have a proposition for you.
I like being propositioned.
I haven't talked about this with you, so this is kind of a focus group that we're having. No one can hear us, right? This is just like
it's just you and I and Edwin
studio mode. So we can let, you know, Ryan come up with the number, right? So we have to figure this out. But I watched a recent episode of Hot Ones. I was talking to you about this once. You've never seen Hot Ones?
Oh no,
right?
I have. I like Hot Ones.
Okay. So what I'm proposing is if we hit a certain number, and we'll decide what the number is, and if people want to do this, and so
RJ will eat a bug.
No.
Oh.
You and I at the Valero or at the golf tournament, maybe we'll do the Hot Ones challenge. If we hit a certain goal, we'll do the Hot Ones challenge, and it will be, because we're talking about YouTube subscribers, it will be a YouTube exclusive video.
All right.
We can workshop this.
No, I'm
you
with
know
you.
what I mean?
No,
Like,
I feel like we're kind of on the same level of. 'Cause I think we can both eat it.
of
I
daring,
don't think
but
we
dumb.
both like it though.
Yeah, so we're both like brave and
Yeah.
bold enough, but also dumb enough to like think that we can handle.
Because I can do it. I appreciate heat. I don't go out of my way to get it. And
That's what I'm saying. Like, we have to find the right number,
Right.
and if we can get there by, and maybe the golf tournament's a good time. So after the show, maybe or something like that, we could workshop this. Maybe it's like the final. Maybe it's the airing of grievances segment. Although we might need more than 30 minutes.
It would be a worthy goal, but no, I think it'd have to be YouTube specific because I'm probably going to cuss. We got more to do. Don't go anywhere as we look forward to what the Cowboys are chasing. The season is done, but the fallout continues as there's a coach from San Francisco looking for a gig. The Silver and Black, well, they're taking a break, but the All-Star weekend is coming. We're going to predict the NBA superstars, what they're going to do this weekend, and look back at what those stars did the first time they had their All-Star weekend. A lot to do, and it won't be any fun unless you hang around with us. Coming back, Mike Zimmer spoke. He's the DC. We listen. You'll hear from him next. This is Silver and Black here on the Morning Huddle. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Silver and Panther or Steel Panther fans, dial your device now. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You want to go see Steel Panther and the glory of 80s airband fun? Well, they're coming to the Techport in just a couple of months. Beat caller number 4 to 656-3776. And you can put on your leather pants and put some tall hair on and go see Steel Panther. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs played their last game before the All-Star break in Dallas. We'll react to everything that happened in Big D.
Last night on the basketball court, we'll stay in Dallas. More reaction to Mike Zimmer becoming the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys and the things he said yesterday. Plus, we'll talk NFL with the great John McClain at 5:15.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
An altercation with an overzealous fan on Wednesday evening in Las Vegas. Apparently, the NBA top draft pick, Victor Wembanyama.
Very nice.
Okay.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The President's Day weekend sale is here at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 20% off used clubs, 30% off select apparel, and get custom fit on the new tailor-made QI10 drivers. Book your free custom fitting online today. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the President's Day weekend sale, or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com.
Never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. BigBlind.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Good morning, everybody. Coming up on the Blitz, reaction continues to pour in. Mike Zimmer, the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about that. Plus the rest of the NFL as John McClain joins us. The General, he'll be here at 5:15. And the Spurs, well, they head into the All-Star break. We'll react to what happened in Big D last night for the Silver and Black. Rob, I hope you're teaching RJ how to be as romantic as you are.
You got to walk before you can run. You know what I mean? Thanks, Joe. Blitz will be going today at 2 o'clock. They're going to be out at the Roo Pub on Friday. It's always a great time when they head out to one of our favorite places. It's Roo Pub over on Redland Road. It's right next to the Angry Elephant and the Big Blind, that big strip that is lots of fun. Getting ready for the NBA All-Star Weekend. They'll be broadcasting up until the hijinks begin, the Rising Star Challenge. You'll be able to watch Wemby and Jeremy. Sohan the gargantuan, Sohan the great, Sohan the terrible. That'll be Friday. Come out and join everybody at the Roo Pub. Good food, good fun, big screen TVs, all to be viewed as the San Antonio has two dudes going this weekend. One new dude was hired yesterday, Mike Zimmer, official, as the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. You know, a lot has been made of Jerry Jones telling us a couple weeks back that they're all in, baby. They're all in for next year. Well, Mike McCarthy, RJ, was asked what being all in is all about. This is his response.
For the organization, I'm just trying to get coaching staff hired right now. No, I think with that, obviously we've had some really good teams in the last couple of years. You know, we're disappointed that we haven't reached the ultimate goal, but yeah, I think it's just, identifying the fact that, it's important to go back and start the basics. And, that starts with player acquisition, and ability to get the new staff and get the personnel guys in the same room next week and just make sure we, just stay on point and do the things we need to do to make sure that we're winning, and building that confidence and the things you need to do when it comes down to the stretch, in the playoffs and win and be it, and win playoff games and win championships. So, but as far as everything else, that's the way I took it.
That's how he took it anyway.
What was what do you think was the most important part?
I think what he brought up
part of what he said
down the stretch. I think he brought up, the Dan Quinn has the kind of defense that manufactures turnovers and wins games in kind of an avalanche fashion. It's a good front running offense because it's blitzing and it looks cool and it's hard to find your feet. But if they know how to get you, if you could plant your feet and run the football, it is a defense that can be taken advantage of. And I think McCarthy saw that in my mind. He talked about down the stretch, and I thought he wanted to be bigger and stronger in December than October.
That's not what I took. So so obviously you're wrong. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm used to it. That's why I survived Valentine's. I'm here yet another.
The part that I found to be most interesting about what Mike McCarthy said there, because the question was about how he characterized Jerry Jones's all-in comment, which all due respect to Mike Zimmer had nothing to do with him. You know what I mean? Like
right.
That's what was, I thought that was a great point from Nick Harris yesterday when he told us we're going to get a chance to speak to Mike McCarthy for the first time since the postseason press conference. I loved how he talked about that started with player acquisition. McCarthy, he was talking about the all-in thing. He said that starts with player acquisition, not doing the is McCarthy saying this, but I wonder if McCarthy's like, hey man, we need more. You got to restock the shelves. You know what I mean? And because that's not his job, and that's not.
It's made very apparent to him. It is not his job.
Well, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Well, I mean, that's why you have general managers.
I agree, but Dan Quinn got everything he wanted for the last couple of years. Not his job, but his shopping list was filled.
But even if it is, Mike Zimmer's side of the ball that's getting restocked, the point is, it has to be restocked. And again, I've said this before, the Cowboys were the last team in the NFL last year to sign an external veteran free agent. You want to be serious? You want to be all in? I'm with McCarthy. And I think when we heard the all in quote, that's how people define that.
So you took that as Jerry, prove it to me. You say you're all in. All right, let's go get some guys.
I don't like that's too dramatic for what I'm saying. But I do find it interesting that, because there was a lot of word salad from McCarthy, right? On what do you take of the all-in comments or whatever. But that the most meaningful, the most actual, the meat of what he said, this was a sushi roll, and it was the teeny tiny little piece of meat inside the roll, and the rice and the cucumber and the avocado and everything, and the honey mustard, spicy or whatever. Sometimes people you eat it late at night. You can't have the spicy part.
So weird.
But the meat was that starts with player acquisition. And it's true, because if you don't participate, there are several sectors of team building, roster construction in the NFL. Free agency, the NFL draft, undrafted free agency, and then whatever veteran signings you can have, obviously, throughout training camp and the regular season. You're not too good to participate in one of them, Cowboys. You're not. You're not so good that you can thumb your nose at one of these. You have to use them all. You can't get to second and third. I'm doing the Mike McCarthy thing and using a baseball analogy here in football without touching first base. It starts with player acquisition. You have to be active in free agency.
Okay, so let's look at this. What does Zimmer do, or is he a magnet for free agents? Is he a guy that if I'm a defensive player and I go, first I want to get paid. Secondly, I want to be self-actualized, or hopefully secondly, I want to win. And then thirdly, I want to be self-activated and actualized. And I'm looking around the rest of the league and I see Zimmer's looking for a guy at my position. Does he have sway over others because of his reputation? I mean, the reason I ask is first, you talent acquisition, but I first want to know, are the guys that we have already going to be happy with it?
I think that if you're looking, so you're the hot free agent, you Rob, right?
I always am.
I know. So I think what attracts you the most to the Cowboys, aside from potentially money, right, is what we just saw over the last year from Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. Now, and by the way, friends of the station, Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore, as of last week. So I don't mean to imply, obviously, that these are not or were not players who were well known in their own right prior to their arrival with the Dallas Cowboys. But if you look at the way Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore were discussed, in NFL at large conversations throughout the 2022 season relative to how they were in 2023, their statures, they got the Cowboys bump.
They did.
Accomplished players in their own right. I mean, there's no question about that. But you put on this helmet, you put on this uniform, and all of a sudden, life is very different for you. And we may soon find that out with Stephon Gilmore if he does re-sign with the Cowboys, obviously, from, the perspective of how much money he makes. But I mean, so if you're that guy, if you're at that point in your career where you still have some juice left in the tank, but you want the attention, look at even Stephon Gilmore, who's one of the most decorated defensive players of this century, experienced the Dallas Cowboys bump.
Yep.
And everybody, rightfully again, so regards him in a much higher space than they did this time. And that can be you. If that's who you are, that can be you. And the Cowboys didn't really have that proof of concept, for the last few years because they hadn't been too aggressive with bringing players in. That's what was so refreshing about the trades for Cooks and Gilmore. So I think that they offer that. If you're looking for something to kind of court you, it isn't Mike Zimmer. It's what they did with these two veteran players.
And is it just the status of the Cowboys? Well, he was talked about his one-star Parsons, how he expected to use him. And man, I appreciated this answer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a terrific player. You watch him on tape and he makes some unbelievably athletic plays. At this point in stage right now, I'm trying to figure out, get the coaches in here, and then we can sit down. I think one of the strengths that I've always had is to look at players and kind of have a vision for each player and then try to figure out how we can use them in the best way. One of the things I would hate to do right now is to tell you how I'm thinking about playing him without talking to him and letting him think.
Answer your watch,
this
Mike.
Is what we're thinking about doing with you, Micah. I don't think I should tell you guys first before I tell him. If that's
Now, I'd like to have heard a little bit more because I'm sure he was asked, what are you going to do with Micah? But I did appreciate the way he said that because that's a vet move. That's an experienced coach in the NFL. I'm not going to define him. I'm going to let him define himself to me before I go any further. That's how you handle a star like that. I'd like to hear more. I want him to be a linebacker or an edge rusher in the truest sense and not a linebacker anymore. But the way he answered the question is one of the reasons you bring in a Mike Zimmer. He's been around the block, man. I'm not going to define him. I know what Micah's like. I'm not going to say anything until I talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's wise. By the way, Micah, a competitor of Mike Zimmer's in the podcast game.
True.
So because they both have podcasts, but
does he have Marvin Lewis on as often? I don't think so.
I don't think, but he does have Jordan Love, and asked him how he kicked his ass. So I mean, a little bit of a different thing. But no, I mean, I think that was wise. You have to look. Mike Zimmer did a very heavy job of trying to convince us that he wasn't a jerk, and I don't know that anything he actually said convinced me that he wasn't a jerk, but that did, because that to me suggests he has learned how to scratch his players' backs and how to not speak about them or speak out of turn. He's learned that there's a bit of a give and take, especially with players who are, at the center of attention, who do have things like podcast. He talked about that also as well. Like players have things like social media these days and blah, blah, blah. That to me shows legitimate growth. And some people I think might be all, don't care what Micah says. You're the coach. Micah's just going to have to do what you say. I think that would be dumb. I think that this shows that Micah's saying, look, Micah and I are going to have a conversation, but none of you have to be privy to that. None of you need to know. We're going to figure this out together, and we're going to work in silence, like the G in lasagna.
McCarthy talked about Jerry proving that he's all in talent acquisition. Well, the first and foremost talent acquiring is drafting, and the combine is just around the corner and prep for the draft. Coming back, the combine in play. We'll tell you who's been invited and list the schools there, and we'll talk a little bit of other college football news that plays into the pros. As the offseason has begun, we'll look at some free agents and the teams that are chasing whom is available. More NFL talk coming your direction. We'll be right back. We're glad you're with us. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Did you wake up this morning in pain? Seriously, did you wake up with something that you go, man, I won't be able to do this today because this hurts yet again? If that's you, stop. In this day and age, you need to get that kind of stuff fixed. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Arasti is here to do just that. These guys and ladies are literally highly trained medical professionals already before they acquire and achieve the Arasti designation. In fact, this Arasti school's right here in San Antonio. But once they come out, they are equipped with tools to get you out of pain, the likes of which you might not have thought existed. And it doesn't have to do with pills to dull the pain. It's not about surgery to prolong and keep that pain. It's about your body fixing itself. And man, oh man, on so many things, it works ridiculously well. Let me tell you, I've had lower back issues most of my life. And as I stumbled into Arasti the very first time, I didn't expect much. I'll tell you what, 3 visits later, I was back moving again. I didn't think it was possible. The same is possible for you. And here's the good news. You don't need a referral to go see an Arasti provider, and they accept most insurances. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website is arasti.com. Whether it's a sprained ankle, a frozen shoulder, a pulled or a strained muscle, maybe it's lower back issues, maybe it's plantar fasciitis, or listen to me close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. The fix is out there. It's called Arasti today. Call them. Get yourself fixed. And when you do, I know you're going to thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
The final horse now in the gate, and they're off.
They're starting off with a double toe loop jump, leaving a difficult 7-10 split. It's this movement on the inside rail. Only 9 pins separate them now as they head to the final quarter mile. They're neck and neck. It's down to the last frame. Here comes the axle jump. They bundle their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Win strike savings gold.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. It's where I go to get my poker on. They're over at 281 in Bitters, 13400 San Pedro Avenue if you are going to be using the map services. Easy to get to, open 7 days a week. Everything that I've been looking for. Look, I've played poker for years, and card houses have been a great experience, but let me tell you, you want to talk about next level, it's SA Card House, because they've got everything that I want. I'm not just a casual player. I like to play, but I like to play with folks I like. I like to be in an environment that I feel comfortable, enjoy the people around, the service and all that goes around that. I get all of that. And then you add in Foster's Grill, which takes SA Card House over the top. They have the opportunity, you have the opportunity to go play great cards in a great environment, a great place, and then add in a great meal made by worthy chefs. It is not pub grub. This is posh nosh. That's SA Card House. Games to be played, fun to be had. Go there today and thank me later.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more select OSB sheathing. Plus, save 10% on bulk purchases of Hillman galvanized fasteners. Visit us in-store or online for the materials you need. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Gather around. We got stuff to talk about. This is the Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa, minding his business and his kid. I am Rob Thompson. I know exactly where my car is, and that's Easy Edwin Hafner. He is pulling one of those monster shifts that will involve hours and hours of tedium with us and the Blitz, and there in between. James Pledger off for a couple of days. Wish him well on the socials. He will be over his skis somewhere in the mountains of New Mexico for the next couple of days. There are the segmenting of the NFL in the offseason, I always look at it like there are teams that are just trying to get the water out of the boat to get it back to the dock. You know, that things are bad, and whatever we do, it's got to be just some kind of improvement next year. Cowboys don't fall into that. Then there's those average teams trying to find a way to get better. I mean, they're almost there, maybe a player or two or a little bit of age and some experience, but they're on their way. They've done the right thing so far. Just keep following the plan. And then there's those that are good enough, but for. And I think the Cowboys land there. When we look at teams that are in interesting positions around the NFL, when you kind of mix them together, the Cowboys obviously got some answers they're going to have to chase, but I don't look at Kansas City and San Francisco as teams that are looking for talent. They're just looking at the pieces. Where do you put Detroit in this? Are they in need of just a piece or two to get better, or is it just they just got to age like some wine? Just do it again.
Detroit is appropriately at the point in The Lion King where Mufasa brings Simba to the top of Pride Rock and says, everything the light touches is ours. Because it can be
right.
Detroit. You look at it, and all of their superstars are still on their rookie contracts. Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously Sam Laporta. They could choose to redo Jared Goff's deal, sign him to an extension this offseason, and they'll make a lot of money, and everybody will freak out, but they can lower his cap number, and they can be, filled with all sorts of salary cap space, and they can go out and who's to say they're not the team that signs Chris Jones this year? You know what I mean? Right. Like this offseason or whatever. Like they they have the ability to change everything.
So
here.
they're in a position, we don't have to do much as long as we don't screw up what we got in-house. The Chicago Bears are on the other side of this. I mean, it is, get the water out of the boat and let's start figuring some things out. If you're the Bears, do you believe that Caleb, when he says, I don't want to play there, is just because it really does matter if you're the Bears, whether he wants to stay or not. Now, the holdouts from rookies are a thing of the past. It just doesn't happen anymore. It's already slotted. And, you just don't see the guys going to take a year off.
Zero way that Caleb Williams is serious about this.
Right.
I mean,
so
absolutely zero.
As far as talent acquisition, they're going to go get a Caleb and trade and get some more picks from the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, it might be possible and it might be posturing, but I also think the idea of the Commanders hired Cliff to go get Caleb Williams. Okay. I mean, is that like his?
Well, that's the hope,
guy?
right?
No, but I mean, if you don't need Cliff to get him, right? Like if you trade for the number 1 overall pick, he's yours. You know what I mean? Cliff isn't some prerequisite. But I hope that Washington does something like that because I think that would set them back a little bit from a capital standpoint. But the Bears, you brought them up. They hold the keys to the offseason. The Bears are they are the timekeeper in the Loki-verse, right? Like they can truly change everything that is going to happen this offseason for anybody, because if they choose to pick Caleb Williams, then where's Justin Fields going to go? Who are they dealing him to? What is the price? What is the compensation? If they choose to, keep Justin Fields, who are they dealing the number 1 overall pick to? Is it Washington? Is somebody else that in love with Caleb Williams? Is it a dark horse team that we're not even anticipating right now? Is it New England? Is it, I don't know, whoever? I mean, but Chicago, because of the amount of resources they have, dude, Chicago can get good in a hurry. And again, Chicago's awesome. What does Caleb Williams have against Chicago? Chicago's one of the coolest cities in America. And this idea that you would rather go play for the defunct, Washington franchise that is barely competent all of a sudden is, again, I'm not saying the McCaskey family has done a great job of running the Bears, but it's a much more sterling place to be than DC at this point in time.
Where do you put the Bills in this? How desperate should the Bills be in this offseason?
I killed the Bills last offseason because I said that they were in a very similar position to the Cowboys in that it felt like it was just Stephon Diggs and nobody else, the way it felt like CeeDee Lamb and nobody else a year ago.
Right.
And Dallas went out and traded for Brandon Cooks, and obviously that really helped. So I didn't understand why Buffalo wasn't in on DeAndre Hopkins or Odell Beckham Jr. when they had flirted with him during the 2022 season. I absolutely think that Buffalo has to go get Gabe Davis ain't it, man. That's not it. And you don't, kind of like the Cowboys, you don't have to throw it all away because you lost to the Chiefs. I know it's frustrating, but you've got but it is going to be very difficult because they're entering a place now where Josh Allen's cap hit is much larger, and they're going to have to find talent on the cheap.
And certainly this year, as we watched Aaron Rodgers, the soap opera that was last year right about this time, the Jets took care of that and they brought him in, but unfulfilled. Where are the Jets in the development stage? Because I don't know where they are, because what Aaron was supposed to be and the void that he left was so immense that I can't even tell what to expect from that offense. I don't know. I know they've got some talent there, both at running back and at wide receiver and full of young guys. But, knowing what they went through last year just because one dude got hurt, how important is their draft and free agency to the Jets? Do they have to swing for the fences again?
I mean, you kind of do have to. You're pot committed if you're the Jets, and you're pot committed to this chaos. And so I don't know how you can continue to let, Aaron be your GM, but you kind of have to, right? I don't know. I don't believe in a sunk cost fallacy, and it kind of feels like that a little bit.
I do.
I don't think this is quite that, because there is a difference between being pot committed and sunk cost fallacy. So they're not quite the same thing, but they're flirting with the line.
They're real close. Hey, we're flirting with the line, as you can hear the music, but we got 2 more hours of incredible radio. On the other side, while the radio will be incredible, the game wasn't. The Spurs were winning until they weren't. They forgot how to shoot. We'll look at what they did and look forward to All-Star Weekend just around the corner. And guess what, Aggies? You might be playing on Thursday. That's coming in the next hour. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
In the Bible's creation account, I'm struck by the fact that the humans God put in the garden didn't have any anxiety. One writer defines anxiety as an automatic reaction to a threat, real or imagined. The root meaning of the word anxiety means to choke or to take by the throat. One of the ways we know we are anxious is a tightening feeling in our chest. In that original garden, there was no such thing as death nor any of the lesser evils humans have encountered since that produce anxiety. So one of the essential skills humans must develop in this life is how to deal with anxiety that comes from relationships, families, marriages, health, vocation, and the unexpected, to name a few. One suggestion is to develop the ability to respond rather than react. This calls for reflection that leads to responsible action rather than reactive impulses. So take some time today to reflect on what you've learned from anxious times in the past. This is Mark Absher, the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, with a thought about anxiety. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
When a cold comes on strong, try DayQuil's Severe Honey Flavor. The daytime, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, so a cold won't slow you down. Get back to your day feeling relieved, enjoying the delicious flavor of DayQuil Severe Honey. DayQuil Severe Honey Flavor soothes your symptoms with a delicious taste. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Here's something you won't hear from any other jeweler. Right now, when you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct, we'll give you a free gold setting for it. Yes, a 14-karat classic solitaire setting in white gold or yellow gold at no charge with any natural diamond purchase. So all your money can go toward a bigger diamond while you still get the classic look she wants in that engagement ring. Another example of Diamonds Direct's extraordinary value. Or if you want to take it up to the next level, Diamonds Direct also has a fantastic selection of halo, pave, vintage, 3-stone, and other popular mountings. Or maybe she wants a designer ring, like the one she's seen on social media. Well, Diamonds Direct has those too. In fact, we are an authorized retailer for all the top designers from New York and California. Whichever setting you choose, you'll also be able to choose your finance plan. Diamonds Direct now has a wide range of finance options with attractive rates and terms up to 60 months, so you can get the ideal setting to fit your style with the ideal payment to fit your budget. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In college basketball, Caitlin Clark is just 8 points away from breaking the women's NCAA career scoring record of 3,527 points. That's held by the great Kelsey Plum. It could fall tonight as the Hawkeyes take on Michigan tonight. It could fall. Greatness awaits Caitlin Clark. We'll talk about that in the silver and black. Spurs go down to the Mavericks last night. That's next.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, everybody on us. Let's huddle up. It's the Morning Huddle. We got stuff to talk about. He manages the editing of Blogging the Boys. I call him a friend. You call him RJ Ochoa. You can tweet him at that. I am Rob Thompson. I know where my car is, and Easy Edwin Hefner on the other side of the double pane glass. This hour, we're looking at the Spurs as they go down and enter the All-Star break. But first, Caitlin Clark tonight is on the precipice of greatness. 8 points away, 9 points. On her ninth point, she'll become the women's all-time scoring leader. A record that will continue to fall as ladies do get 3 and 4 years. There's not the one and dones that were the records that are going to fall in the future for all-time scoring in college basketball. Will not represent greatness, just longevity. But Caitlin, on the other hand, is both. And as we enter the Wemby era, and as we see him do things that we didn't think were possible, have you seen Caitlin?
It's sometimes there's a phenomenon, there's an athlete, there's a story that's just, I mean, you're just like grateful to live through it. You know what I mean? This is one of those. She's incredible. I mean, like this. Kind of like Wemby, I mean, but she's great in her own right. I mean, like we're short on ways to describe it. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like the volume that she puts up is pretty difficult to comprehend at any level.
I had the great pleasure and embarrassment of when I was a much younger man, a long time ago, playing against ladies that were very good in the era in the 80s. A couple that have gone on. I saw Swoops play in Tech, and she's one of the greatest to ever play. I don't think in the annals of time we've seen one sport improve in quality of play and improve in just all things like the WNBA has over the last decade. Go back and look at what it was 10 years ago and watch it now. It's a very different game played by very different style of athletes.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Caitlin, there's no male, female, boy, girl. Caitlin is just a straight up baller.
Assassin.
Up until in my mind, Diana Taurasi is the best lady to ever set foot on a court. Top to bottom, between skill and attitude and want to and everything else. There's 4 or 5 that are on the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball. But for me, Diana was and still is my favorite women's basketball player to ever watch. Becky in her day was a pleasure. But Diana cut your heart out for a win. and had all the skills to do it. Kelsey Plum, the record that's about to fall, she was as well-rounded a player as I've ever seen, but they're not even close to Caitlin.
I agree with you. Sabrina, who will be
Sabrina, baller. Yes, Caitlin's better than that.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, Sabrina, I was going to say she's going to be on display this weekend, obviously, against Steph. I was looking to see if there's a prop. Here we go. So Steph is minus 265 in their
really?
In their yeah, so he's the favorite. To make X shots in a row, what's the most you'd take Steph or Sabrina to make in a row? 3
in a row?
Yeah.
I've seen Caitlin hit 10.
So the odds on she doesn't have odds on. Oh, hang on. Yeah, she does have odds to make 10 plus 650. This is from FanDuel Sportsbook.
Plus 650. That tells you right there. Yeah, I'm in.
That's not outlandish. To your point,
it's not.
So Steph to make 10 in a row is plus 460. So I mean, just moderately ahead of her. To make 4 in a row, which is incredibly different. I mean, like, you know, you look at it, you're like a 4 in a row. I mean, like, but 4 in a row, she is minus 550 to make 4 threes in a row.
Tip-off is set tonight for 7 o'clock Central Time, and to watch history be made, it's worth going. You can find it on Peacock. You want to find some good basketball, some worthy basketball, not like what we saw last night. And it feels a lot the same, although Iowa's winning. That's the interesting part of this, is they have their Wemby, but they're winning. Our Wemby, we're not winning. Wemby's playing well, but we ain't winning. Last night was so absolutely typical, but let's not get into it. Let's not bicker and argue about
why
about going 2 for 20 over 2 quarters or 2 for 41 or whatever it was to close the game out. Let's not bicker and argue about all that. Let's look forward to what will be, we expect, an unveiling. Wemby, post-game yesterday, was asked about the weekend that was coming. What I found interesting about this is the naivety of what, you know, it is brand new to this very young kid. And as he flies to Indianapolis, this is going to be the unveiling. He is going to be the prize bull. He's going to be, this is what we got. Let's use him at every facet. And he was asked, you know, what's your schedule going to do? What are you going to do when you get to Indianapolis? And this is what his expectations are.
Yeah, sure. I started thinking about it. You know, I'm going to have a very busy schedule. And, but yeah, it's going to be a fun experience, you know, intense, but fun.
Are you planning on doing any of the extra stuff, the parties and the get-togethers, or are you just
No, I'm not going to have time.
They card, I hear, in Indianapolis. I won't be able to do some of that stuff.
He's living the My 2K career mode storyline. You know, like like the first time when you play a 2K story and you get to do the like post-game interview and then Shaq is talking to you and you see your guy like wearing the headsets, like, this is so cool. This is so cool.
I'm
You know,
doing the post-game.
yeah, like that's exactly like how he like the just innocence that he's like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go be at the All-Star game and I just don't have time to go to the parties. I mean, basketball. I'm a basketball player.
The amplitude of the focus on him is going to be an interesting thing to watch, because you got to balance. There's really interesting storylines coming into the break, because we found out post trade deadline that Golden State was trying to get LeBron. Didn't work out, but it does show the fragility of the Western Conference. And as we come in at that ceremonial break, the storylines from, can Golden State turn it? Because they have picked it up, and the numbers offensively, defensively, all those inside the numbers, the winning numbers are way up since Draymond's back. I mean, he really, you know, despite everything else, he's doing exactly what everybody knows about Draymond. When he's playing and he's motivated and he's not getting in trouble, that team is twice as good. That it just, for whatever reason, he's a force multiplier. He makes Steph twice as good. He makes Jonathan Kuminga. Oh my gosh. So you look at those guys showing up at the West, and with Wemby being kind of the front and center as LeBron kind of fades. You get the sense this is really the story about LeBron after this season will be LeBron and his kid.
Well, and we talked about this yesterday in terms of LeBron 2024, 2025 destinations. I think LeBron will never ride anybody's coattails, but it will be a kind of, christening who LeBron chooses to go hunt with. You know what I mean? Like it will be a knighting from LeBron of, you are capable of doing this. You are capable of, as opposed to you joining me in my stratosphere of operation, which has been the case, for the last 20 years. I'm willing and ready to come to you and the empire that you're building. I want a piece of this. I want to merge with your equity firm. And so it will be fascinating to see who he chooses. I mean, what young superstar gets that seal of approval.
As we go into the break, the Boston Celtics control the East, and last night they pantsed the Brooklyn Nets. This is the first time in quite some that a team, the Boston Celtics, have won a couple of games this season so far by 50. And Brooklyn was amenable enough to book their flight immediately after the game last night.
50 points. I mean, how is that possible?
Well, first of all, Boston's that good.
Well, but it's difficult to lose a game by 50. I mean, it doesn't happen all too often.
No, and to see Boston do it twice in one season, I think is such a reflection of how good and how they are and how capable they are of just rolling points on you. They play defense. Missoula's got these guys competing on both sides of the ball, and once they start hitting a couple of shots, the rain keeps coming. The Warriors are back to 500 on the season as they saw their 5-game win streak end last night. They're 14-14 at home. Their second most losses this under Steve Kerr. I saw an interesting stat roll through. The Golden State has lost 6 games this season when they had a lead of 15 points or better. That's tied for the best or worst, depending on how you want to quantify that in the NFL. You know who they're tied with? The San Antonio Spurs. Golden State is at 500.
Wait
the
to let me
Spurs
guess.
have well, I knew you were going to get it. You were going to get it, right?
What was Steph's record that he set last night? It was most games with 7 or more 3-pointers made in a row.
4 straight games.
I mean, what? Like, it's impossible. I had this search running, by the way, in the background. It took a minute for 50-point wins, like point disparity. This is only the second game this season, and Oklahoma City beat Portland by 62. Do you know how many 50-plus point wins we had last season?
There were a few more.
2023.
We'll call it last spring. 3 or 4?
If you count, no, they're all told last year. They were 4.
4.
Golden State beat Portland by 56. The biggest disparity I can find here, recent history. Memphis beat Oklahoma City by 73 years back.
Well, and we're going to see more of it. It's the tanking and it's the load management all rolled into what will be a delicious march of watching guys watch basketball games. While the Spurs went down, Victor had 26-9-3, ending his memorable first half of the season. He's the third player with 1,000 points and 150 blocks through the first 50 career games since blocks became an officials count in 73-74. That Wilt would have probably joined that. But that does include Shaq, David, as the other guys to do it. He's the first player with 1,000 points, 150 blocks and assists through 50 games since blocks became a record. And he's the first player to average 23 blocks, 3 assists at the All-Star break since Shaq did in 99-2000 when he won the MVP. To tell you who should be playing on Sunday instead of Friday night. He's also the first player to average 25, 10, and 5 assists and 5 blocks in a 2-game span since David Robinson did back in 1990. I could just keep going with the records he keeps throwing out. And with these records are going to be highlighted to the nth degree. And I wonder what the attitude will be about the Spurs. How are they going to treat Pop? And I say all those that are on the periphery as they gather together and talk NBA and all things great. And they see what Wemby's capable of. And then they talk about the Spurs winning 11 games. Does he have enough receipts to survive this weekend without taking a few arrows?
I think that Wemby is a really politically correct young person, which is really difficult to be. I think he's incredibly polite, which again is really difficult to be at his age. But I think that if you want to call it patience, is probably going to be tested this week. Right? There's a lot of people who are going to be like, dude, 11 wins.
I'm waiting for someone to come out and go, at some point, Pop, you're going to have to win. At some point, and it has to be, I want it to come from somebody at a level that isn't, just a peripheral Spurs watcher, and they bring up, he's doing this. Somebody
can't
call
come from Kendrick Perkins. That's you know what I mean?
Or Jefferson. It can't come from Richard Jefferson either.
Yeah, and I'm not, against their analysis, but you know what I'm saying? Like it has to hit a little bit closer to home. You know what I mean? Like for it to feel like, okay, now the tide's turning a little bit. That's why Sean Elliott's comments on the Blitz a few weeks back were so powerful, I thought. But yeah, I mean, it's the well's running dry. The well of excuses, man. You know what I mean? Like you've literally got this. I mean, you just ripped through. We do this every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like every day, it's like Wemby did this amazing thing. Wemby did this. The dub tees, all this stuff. Like Wemby. He's in this completely uncharted territory, and you have 11 wins to show for it. Like Wemby on his own is good enough to just rip off 11 wins. You know what I mean? Like Wemby and 4 dudes, but like somehow, some way, you have found the 4 exact dudes or combination of dudes to like weigh this operation down. This should not be this way. I mean, I know it's we're saying the same thing, singing the same song, but they have 11 wins at the All-Star break. It's unbelievable.
And some time to contemplate it as they don't get busy again for nearly a week. We'll look at what Pop had to say as the players head to break toward the wins, the All-Star break, and expectations for the second half of the season in the 9 o'clock hour. Hey, coming back, looking around the Frisco Star, there's a brand new parking place filled. Mike Zimmer is in the building and getting things going. We're going to talk about what we saw yesterday. We got a definition of what all in is from your head coach, Mike McCarthy. We're going to hear that. And you're going to hear from the new defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer, on how he plans on using Micah and what the state of the defense, what he needs to do. Does he need to reinvent anything? More coming from Cowboys headquarters next. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The boys are back from Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
You heard the big game on Sunday, and the boys made it back thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds and presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Next year, it's off to the Big Easy on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I got to change the oil in my car.
Right now, get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $36.99.
What do I do with my old oil?
We can recycle your used oil for free.
And do you have oil for my old work truck?
You can find the right high mileage oil to help it go farther right here at AutoZone. AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
At the UPS Store, we know this upcoming holiday is when things can get busy for small business owners.
Exactly. My to-do list and I don't take days off.
That's why you can count on us to be open and ready to help with every small business need, whether it's packing and shipping or if it's just to check your mailbox.
That's almost everything on my to-do list. My list and I can take the day off.
Your local, the everything to help you be unstoppable store. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or a visit. Appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. That's 1-800-PROGRESSIve.
COVID-19? I don't want to risk missing work. I booked an appointment for this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn about a vaccine option and book your COVID-19 shot on schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, a lawyerforus.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from The Blitz starting at 2 o'clock today. Of course, more reaction to Mike Zimmer's press conference yesterday as the Dallas Cowboys' new defensive coordinator. We'll talk NFL with John McClain and react to Spurs Mavs last night there in the Big D. You are so right, Rob, on your Facebook post from yesterday. Your wife, Kelly, she is certainly the lucky one.
Yeah, aren't they all? Happy post-Valentine's to all that celebrated. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. You're on the Morning Huddle. We're glad you're with us this morning. Yesterday, Mike Zimmer was trotted out and shown off as the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot about Zimmer that, we know him. We've watched what he did in Cincinnati as a DC, a head coach in Minnesota. We had a former beat writer that followed him around for a couple of years with The Athletic. I see her come and join us. And he kind of defined him pretty well. And then the Zimmer comments, the good news is I don't think there's any vagaries as to who Mike Zimmer is, apart from his attitude. You were the first one to tell me about the fact that a lot of players, a lot of people that have dealt with Zimmer over the years kind of don't like him. He's a good coach, but personally, the dude's a little bit of a hard ass.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who are, sometimes you work with in whatever walk of life, and they're either, rude or abrasive or maybe even awkward. And that, those aren't, character flaws. It just makes working with them a little bit less tenable than it does with other people. And that seems to be Mike Zimmer, and that's okay. He's had a lot of success as a defensive mind. And, with the Cincinnati Bengals, obviously that's the Marvin Lewis connection. They did a podcast together, two guys talking ball on the pod. And obviously with the Cowboys and even his Vikings, I thought were really good. People forget that they lost to the Seahawks in that awful playoff game when Blair Walsh missed that field goal when they were playing outside before the dome was built. But I mean, Mike Zimmer, he had them rallied. He rallied them after the Teddy Bridgewater injury. Like you can't lead people like that if you're just a jerk, right? Like I think that, you can have jerk qualities, but you could still be a leader despite all of that. I know that that's funny, but it's the truth.
He spoke to it yesterday.
There's a reputation out there that I'm a jerk or something like that, which, hey, it is what it is, I guess. But you know, since it was announced that I was going to be here, I've heard from so many players that played for me. Players here, not just defensive backs, but linebackers and defensive linemen texted me and said how happy they are for me. And I think if I was such a jerk, I wouldn't be hearing from those guys.
He's not a jerk. He had 3-4 people text him say congratulations. You know, his dry cleaner was happy.
My florist doesn't think I'm a jerk.
There's guys that barely know me that think I'm a great guy, but those that do, hey, there's nothing wrong with being a hard ass. If you're chasing the best out of people, go do whatever you got to do. That's your job as a coach. But once you become beyond that and it starts to interfere with your relationship with players, it does become a problem. He spoke about just, coming to Dallas and being back in a place that he'd been before.
It feels outstanding. I mean, I got 2 grandkids, twins that my daughter has. I'm excited to be around a little bit more. I've always loved Dallas. I've always loved the Cowboys. I've had a chance, and a lot of times, Mike and I were on a committee together, so we were able to kind of talk away from football. Back in the day, we're on the John Madden committee, and then did I ever think I'd be back? I don't know. I always kind of hoped I would be. When my time was off, I'd had some phone calls of going places, and I wanted to be somewhere where I knew people and I trusted people. And so when this opportunity came up, I was excited because the relationship I had with Mike and even the conversations that we've had since I've been here, telling stories about when we played up in Green Bay or they played in Minnesota, and then with Jerry and Steven and those things. But I've had such great respect. I actually told him the same thing. When I was in NFC North, he was the one I respected the most. They were the best team. They were the most well-coached.
He's handsome, man.
Their teams played the right way. And so we tried to emulate a lot of those things and so that we could hopefully compete against them.
The Love Fest that was the press conference yesterday. Couple things out of that. Do you think he was getting calls? Do you think there were other teams actually calling to check and see if Zimmer was available to be their DC?
Look, I'm trying to be positive about this, but the one team that landed Mike Zimmer is the one team that he has a long-standing, almost familial relationship with. You know what I mean? Like it all feels a little bit too coincidental. And again, I'm not saying that to be silly or pedantic or anything like that, but I mean, it just, it sounds too good to be true in that sense. And I hope that I'm wrong and it simply is coincidental, just like I'm sure it was all coincidence the way it unfolded the exact same way that it did, that his daughter was sick and he was sick and all this stuff.
They can't negotiate if there's a sick person in the house. What RJ's talking about is there was a question asked yesterday, like, what was the delay? We heard all the way back last Thursday that you were the guy, but we really didn't hear that it was completed until Monday, and we're not pressing it until Wednesday. Why so slow? And his response was, my daughter, who lives with me, which was okay, was sick and vomiting, and then I was sick, and so, if anybody's sick, you can't negotiate. So the delay, RJ, you're right. This was just continuing the drum roll. That's all that was. It wasn't anything other than prolonging the inevitable, but getting a little bit of press time in between.
I'm starting to move forward with this, and you know what I mean. And I do think that Zim offers some legitimate things to be very excited about. But the last time McCarthy spoke in that room before yesterday, we ridiculed him and mocked him for he was literally rightfully asked, why should people believe in you? Like, think about that. Like, we went from the last time he was in that room being asked that question in a completely fair way to now we're just lining up to chug. Like, we're the kid in Oliver Twist, like, more, please. Can I have some more? Like, give me more of this Kool-Aid to chug. You know what I mean? Like, it's only been a month and we already took our foot off that gas. And I'm just, damn.
Hey, we've got a lot to talk about regarding the brand new steps that he's got to take. He's got to fill a couple of coaching positions, as do the San Francisco 49ers. Coming back, the 49ers are on the hunt for a new DC. They say they might be looking exterior. Is it possible that maybe they go get a former head coach that maybe has been in the game a little bit more recent than Zimmer? Is Vrabel possible? Could they go get Belichick? Let's look at the possibilities as the coaching carousel continues to turn, and we'll look at the big offseason questions that every team faces, including your Dallas Cowboys. NFL talk coming, and then we're going to look back at former or previous All-Star games. The first for the most recent stars, how did it go for them? We'll see what Wemby can do and expectations from him. More to come. We're glad you're with us. This is the Morning Huddle. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Where are you going today? It's almost lunchtime. If you're planning appropriately, you should be heading over to any one of the 4 Twin Peaks all around San Antonio. And as we come into a season where games are going off, not just on Sundays, but every day, you need to have Twin Peaks on your menu and on your schedule, because it could be a Tuesday or Wednesday. You might be looking at a Champions League game. You might be heading in this weekend for some great college basketball, or maybe you're chasing golf as Tigers hosting the Genesis. It's all going to be on the screens there at Twin Peaks, but that's just the beginning of the party. When you go there for a happy hour, they've got all you need to chase your games. So if you're looking for great shot deals, great deals on wine and beer, local brews, of course, they've got that. Friday's the theme days, and don't forget about the lunch specials and then the late happy hour specials. That's why Twin Peaks is your community. That is why I go to Twin Peaks, either on Days of All and I-10, 151 and 410, Loopland right there at 410 and 281. But then there's the brand new one. And if you haven't been over to the northeast side and seated on IKEA, you're not living right. We know what to expect when we go to Twin Peaks. The food is always spectacular with an ever-changing menu. We know that the mixologist standing behind the bar will serve nothing less than 29-degree cold beer, because that's what they do. And we know that all the drinks coming to you are going to be poured professionally well. But why do we go? It is so easy. It's those scenic views.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning to see my teeth in a container.
At Doctors Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
At the UPS Store, we know this upcoming holiday is when things can get busy for small business owners.
Exactly. My to-do list and I don't take days off.
That's why you can count on us to be open and ready to help with every small business need, whether it's packing and shipping or if it's just to check your mailbox.
That's almost everything on my to-do list. My list and I can take the day off.
Everything to help you be unstoppable store. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The
John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
We used to fight chickens in Oklahoma until they got busted up by the cops.
Grown people fighting chickens?
Yeah.
You don't fight the chickens yourself. You let the chickens fight each other.
Oh, okay. I was watch that. It's kind of off balance a little bit.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hey, gather around. We're talking. Huddle up. The Morning Huddle, RJ and Rob with you. So yesterday, I'm getting ready for the I already listened to the presser, listen to the blitz in the background. I know the Spurs are coming in. Got the news on in the background. And I in the background, there's a guy standing and he's in a bunch of snow. And then I heard Alaska pox. Did you hear about this?
Oh, right. Yeah. This is popping. Yeah.
So there's like something that's related to smallpox. That's like its 5th or 6th case has been found up in Alaska. They don't know what it is. And they're calling it Alaska pox. I'm a little gun shy, man. I got a little PTSD and those kind of things. Because didn't we just come off of monkeypox? We got that taken care of, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I feel like that's been around for a while. But
okay, did Alaska pox scare you when you heard about it?
I mean, everything scares me now, but
it got better yesterday. So okay. I'm watching that, and of course all the horrible scenes from Kansas City. So that's going on, and then I see the story about monkeypox, and then I hear that they're from somebody leaking in the government somewhere somehow that there's some sort of
Russian.
What
are you reading?
Well, no, this was just straight up news. That that Biden and all those there's something in space we need to be worried about. Did you hear all this yesterday?
No,
that the Russians got
something in outer space.
Yeah, something in space that they got something that might pose a threat, and nobody's talking about it. Like, speaking of that, don't worry, everything's fine. We're gonna have a meeting about this later today, though.
I wonder if they're monitoring all mention of them on airwaves. So, like, you just doxed us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, Rob knows. Rob Thompson knows.
Well, I just want to know what the hell's in space I need to be worried about. Is it like nukes in space, or is it lasers in space? Is it the space thing that starts forest fires? Is that what I should be worried about?
I think it's a good rule of thumb to just fear all outer space.
I do. I think
what good happens out there? You know what I mean? Like,
they go, well,
name one good thing.
Did you go back and look at the series of events? I mean, at one point they had a national security guy have to come out and say, "Well, yeah, there's something, and we're talking about it." Like, what are you talking about?
We got this under control. Yeah, we're good.
If you're calling Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis, if I find out there's an oil rig crew getting flown into DC, I got issues.
I'm willing to suspend reality for a lot of movies, but I sometimes, when that movie pops up, I'm just like, I like to imagine you were told, like, hey, Rob, there's an asteroid, a meteor that's coming for Earth, but don't worry, we're sending an oil rig crew up to stop it.
Steve Buscemi.
They have 0 astronaut and aeronautical training, but they got this.
Will Michael Bay be producing it? If he is, they'll be good. That was a weird 30 minutes yesterday of we got something in space.
Like,
we got Alaska pox.
I mean, the news can be, an interesting experience to let wash over you. And it sounds like that's what you did. It sounds like you sat down to become informed and you walked away a different person.
what was the greatest debut in your memory? I'm sure there's numbers to bear it out. But when your favorite young player made it to the All-Star game, is there a moment that you remember, oh, he did it? I remember David's first All-Star game because I couldn't wait to see him go measure up. Because back then, I mean, this was early 90s. You got a couple games a week. They were still tape delaying games. David shows up, and he'd been away from the game for so long. And we'd had him for a couple of months, and he was everything we hoped. But this was the opportunity. Unfortunately, he was going in when Jordan and Magic and Bird and all those guys were still playing, and he got kind of overshadowed. But he got to play. We won't get to see Wemby. LeBron.
My answer is team related. It isn't an individual. I've told you before I have a soft spot for the Pistons and for the early 2000s Pistons, which made the 05 finals just a teeny bit awkward for me. But was it 05? I think it was that 05 year when they had all four of them, except for who was the only non-All-Star? Chauncey was one. Rip was one.
Sheed,
I think,
and Wallace.
No, I think she was the one left out. I think Ben and Tayshaun were all stars, and it was the sickest thing in the world when the four of them walked up to check in together. It was like they're on the same team. It was like the four of them were all on. It was a really cool thing to watch them check in together. So I want to find out what
it was. The four went to the All-Star game in 06. It was Billups, Hamilton, Wallace, and Sheed all were named as reserves to the All-Stars.
Wait, which Wallace? So Rip didn't make it? Who was the one that didn't make it?
It was Chauncey, Rip, Ben Wallace.
It was Tayshaun that didn't make it.
Was not of the five.
Man, I'm looking at the picture right now. Dude, what a cool picture this is. I'm sending you this right now. Like, this was so cool, dude. Like watching them like just leaning up, waiting to get in the game. These uniforms were awful though. Good.
It was in the era of the big pants.
But even the jerseys are just gross. I mean, it's like they're mostly white. Man, this is a cool picture. This is one of the more powerful All-Star memories.
And you are going to have to adjust your TVs. Remember, Friday and Saturday, they're going to be playing on the crazy video court that either you like or you hate. Maybe they'll come up with something right in
How
the middle.
can you hate it yet? You don't know that you hate it yet.
You know what? The perfect example of what this court is what we saw in Vegas. The Sphere.
Oh my gosh.
You can't take your eyes off it. If you're driving, the Sphere is going to cause, I bet it causes 5 accidents a day in Vegas.
Oh my God.
I bet it does.
Rob, this is sad. This is embarrassing.
I bet the Sphere causes 5 accidents a day. You can't take your eyes off it.
Do you know how large of a number that is? I mean, like, come on.
That's 1,500 accidents a year. That thing's on 24 hours a day. There's 5 guys running stop signs a day. 5 guys rear-ending somebody because they looked over and they saw one of the minions giggling at them. That was the size of an oil rig. I mean,
they saw the 92 Cowboys Super Bowl ring on it last week. Yeah.
It is so amazing to watch that I can't stop watching it. I think the same thing's going to be happening with this basketball court, that there's going to be so much going on if they do it wrong that we'll lose sight of the game.
Are you truly saying that you're like this big of a moth? You know what I mean? Like, and you will just fly to the flame.
No, what I think is, as with any new technology, it's entirely overused until we figure out where it fits. And I think
you're pre-complaining about this.
I'm not complaining.
What I mean? Like,
I'm just saying it's going to be interesting to watch.
You were setting this up like you either like it or you hate it.
I'm withholding judgment. But for me, anything that takes away from the players and the game is too much. If it adds, that's fine.
My goodness.
Have you seen the highlights of guys when Kobe a couple years ago went over to Asia, sadly, before we lost him, and there were some highlights of him running around in one of those courts, and it's amazing to watch. But you cannot say that Kobe is then the focus of on the frame. You can't take your eyes off what's going on but below his feet, which is cool.
Why can't you pay attention to multiple things at once?
Because I'm 57.
But like, so your attention is this like minimal that it has to like you have like you have like such low capacitance that you can't divide your attention in 2.
As long as it doesn't take away from the athletes in the game, I'm all for it. And any kind of new technology, we get lost in it. And I think that we might get lost in a video package beneath the feet and lose what is going on extraordinarily well above the floor.
we talked about Sabrina hitting 10 threes in a row potentially. Don't you think it would be the sickest thing in the world if after number 10 something like exploded on the court underneath
I
your
think
shoes?
that would be, that's how you use this technology appropriately.
So then how are you? What is the bad outcome here?
I didn't say anything was bad. I'm just saying
No,
if
but like
used inappropriately, it'll get lost in the game.
What is describe the inappropriate thing then? Like paint the picture for us.
The best example was that is as technology in the game has grown to be more and more fan-friendly. Remember when music, as soon as the game started, the music stopped at the live games. At an NBA game, it'd be jamming, whistle. It goes silent. Now they let them play on into the game. It kind of dribbles into the game because nobody liked that hard stop. Let's get quiet. The game starts. So NBA said, "Oh, you know what? Well, let's just let the music go in. We'll keep the fans hopping and we'll let it go until about 2 seconds after the clock starts, and then we'll get into the game."
So
so they realized
comparison to like elite technology.
Well, that was elite
music.
technology. Well, that's what I'm just saying. In the progress of the game itself.
You still haven't outlined what a negative use of this
You're
is.
the one that was finding negative.
No,
what I was saying.
What do you mean? I'm the one. You literally
is
started this and said you either like it or hate it. What is the scenario in which you hate this? That's what I want to hear
on Monday. If at any
I laid
point,
out a scenario where it would be awesome,
and
you have yet to describe one where it would suck. I'm just waiting to hear that hypothetical.
When there's so much going on the court that you can't, or under the court that you can't tell what's going on the court.
What would that example be?
You can't see the ball. Like, where's the ball? Because it's hitting the ground, and there's so much color going on.
You think they're going to camouflage the ball with the digital court?
I think it's entirely possible. Yeah, I've seen it happen. I watched it happen. I've seen guys play on that, and it was cool for a moment. Then you go, "What exactly did I miss above the court?" I was too busy watching the commercial below his feet.
So you think Steph is just going to be in the middle of his 3 contest with Sabrina, and he's going to be fielding a pass? No, he's going to be fielding a pass, and it's just going to hit him in the chest and be like, "Whoa, I didn't see this!" Like it blended in too much with the court.
I don't think the players are going to. It'd be kind of trippy. I can tell you that.
I also
like
think
to be dribbling on something moving beneath.
Like you're not getting like aerial view down.
I bet we will.
No, but that's not the only view you're gonna get. Like I could see the blending thing happening there, but you're getting the angular normal view. Like I think you're pre-complaining. I think you're
I think that
getting
we
off
are
my
going to
awning.
fine tune it, but there's going to be moments where we go, "What did I just miss?" Because I was paying too much attention to the explosion.
What do you mean? What did you just miss? There's
the play.
I guarantee you, there will not be a moment in time that you're just like, "This court is inhibiting my experience."
I say that watching static courts. When I watch a basketball game being played at the TCU home court, I say that as I watch it. The court is in the way of my enjoyment. Looks like they're playing on some kind of snow-covered field. It doesn't look right.
I can't believe that you used the playing of music as a technological advancement.
It was. There was a time.
But how did that impact your ability to enjoy the game?
What they started with the music, and they decided, you know what, music's cool, keeps the fans hyped, and then they realized the rule was as soon as the game starts, we're going to stop the music, and everybody be jamming along. Whistle blows, and the whole stadium went quiet. You felt like, what just happened? And then they realized,
how does that affect your ability to enjoy the game?
Nothing. It doesn't at all.
That's your whole point. Your whole point is that your ability to enjoy the game is getting contaminated by advancement.
No, what I'm saying is
Rob's point is Skynet is attacking his ability to enjoy basketball.
What I'm saying is any new technology, anything that you add to the game, you have to figure out how it fits. And the first attempt is always too much. You always go, "This is so cool. Let's throw it out there." And you know what? While they're playing basketball, let's run a basketball movie under their feet so they can watch a game and a basketball movie.
Serious question. What do you make of on the TNT broadcast how they have the shot clock above the free throw line?
Love it.
Okay, so that doesn't distract you.
No.
At all. Okay, so I was told that it was going to. Like that's what you're saying. Like, oh man, this moving flow. You did this moving organism underneath their feet on the court.
How
is
big
just
is the
going to
shot
be
clock
too
on your screen when you look
it's a
at
circle. It's circle. It fits. Stands for
From now on, though, I want you to envision them playing on the shot clock, so you get to see the entirety of the shot clock. Underneath their feet. Would that annoy you?
I don't think it would, because I trust them to bake things in properly. And they debuted that shot clock, and it was immediately like, oh, this is so much better because I don't have to look to the bottom right corner to see the shot clock anymore. It's in the middle of the action.
But they've
What?
also,
Name one.
Okay, the extra green space on the football field a couple of years ago where they highlighted this first down
I did
thing.
not think you would come up with an example. That's a really good one. So,
And so
respect.
just sometimes you
it
can
was called
throw-
the green zone, by
Yeah.
the way. Please give it its proper respect. It was called the green zone.
And it was a good idea. And then they threw it out there and go, this is stupid. It doesn't work. It adds nothing. And I think they're going to throw everything they can onto the court over the weekend and go, that's a good idea, but let's bring it back just a little bit. That's
But
where
they're
I'm
not
headed
doing
to.
it for the game. They're only doing it on
I
Saturday
agree.
night.
That's why. But they
So
are,
what? Let me paint you a little picture. And I don't even know the technology, but wouldn't it be cool if during the dunk contest they mark where the player jumped from,
Absolutely.
and they
There's
immediately
so
are
much
like,
that's
he
appropriate.
covered like 26 feet and 3 inches or
And I
whatever.
have a
Like that would be
sense.
so cool.
And you know what? See, we get that at home already. But but for the in stadium fans will get that. And I think that's how this technology is appropriate. I mean, think about all the stuff that you miss when you're at the game, the scrolling stats and all that. Well, now it could be on the court as you're watching the game. In fact, a player catches the ball at the 3-point line, and as he catches it on the floor beneath him, it flashes. He's 3 for 5 from here. Wow.
Or what if it flashes the make probability of the shot he's putting up? Like exactly, like
the potential is amazing.
So why are you so mad?
I'm not mad. I'm just
what-
saying we're gonna get a green zone. There's gonna be something in there. Go take that off. That's dumb. But we're
You
gonna
were
get
talking out of
15
both
other
sides
good
of your
things.
mouth.
No.
You were like, "This is super cool, but this is gonna suck." I mean, like
Exactly.
it can't be both.
With
I
any
mean,
new
it's gonna
technology,
be.
it is both. And
I
we're gonna fight
promise.
through that this weekend.
On Monday, you are gonna walk and you're gonna be like, "Dude, whoa." The court was lit up, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. They showed me that Wemby made this chest pass from 400 feet across the court, and it was sick. I can't believe that we've ever lived and operated around this
But see,
technology before.
I won't be saying that because I'll be watching it on TV, and I'll already get all that. This is
We're
about
gonna see it on the court on
but
TV.
This is right. But what all the data, the things that you're talking about is something that if I'm just watching the game on television, I'm already getting. It's the in-game experience that's going to be awesome because you don't get
I've lost
that
track.
in-game.
You've moved the goalpost so many times. I've lost track of what your exact
Because you
complaint
decided
is.
I was mad at this from the get-go, and
What
I'm
do you
not.
mean? I didn't. You started
But
and
I'm
said
saying
you're either
on
going to like
Monday,
it or
as
hate
mu-
it.
As much as there's going to be things that we go, wow, that was awesome. You're also going to go, that was weird. That didn't
No,
look right.
it's
Yes, you will.
only going to be awesome. I promise you. You're going to walk away, and on Sunday evening, you're going to go, crap.
No.
I have no
guarantee
grievances.
you that
about
won't
this.
be the
I have
case.
0 grievances.
Yeah.
This was so cool.
That's why we have a daily, because I never have grievances. And
Look,
if you
I'm
have
just
one,
saying, all of the chat agrees with me that you are kind of, you're coming
you
down a little bit
framed
from Mount
my
Pius
argument
right now.
in a place that I wasn't at. All I was
I
saying
gaslit
was,
you?
it's
What do you
like
mean?
the
You're the-
sphere. There are accidents being caused by the sphere because it's so amazing. You can't.
You
take your
also
eyes
said that
off
there
of it.
were 5 accidents a day.
I'll bet there are. If I was driving around, I'd be responsible for one a day because every time it's you can't look away. And I think we're going to see that this weekend. It's going to be ridiculous. I just don't want it to take away from the game. I don't think it will in all aspects, but there'll be 1 or 2 times when it flashes up on that dunk contest where it just goes nuts and you go, what did I just miss? There was too much. But what is coming is going to be
that's
awesome.
happening.
What is
don't think
coming will be awesome.
It's only going to be awesome. Just don't be
But
afraid.
it's going to be.
Rob.
I'm
Just-
not afraid, but there will be a moment where there's a green zone thing, and you go, "Well, that was dumb. That bark that, and let's not do that again."
I can't believe that this overall stance. This was a little weird. This is a little, this was a little privileged NBA fan right now. Like, oh, don't you dare interrupt how I watch the players run up and down the court.
And I will stand by that. The guys are the thing. It ain't the show. It's the dudes.
I mean, I can't come with you on this one. I'm sorry. This was not your finest hour.
Remember when hockey had that when you could hit it? I know we're way over. I owe Edwin a lot. Remember when they had in hockey games where they were trying to broadcast to the people that couldn't see the puck on TV? So every time they hit it, it had a little fire behind it.
Okay, that's your comparison for this.
I liked that, and other people didn't. I thought
Okay.
that was kind of cool. I could finally talk about, and we got to calm Edwin down. We'll be right back. You're on 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star. I want to tell you real quick about Tri-County Meat Market. As the spring begins, of course, grilling season continues, and we'll begin the next season of majors. Easter is next, and make sure you plan appropriately. We're 39 days away, I believe. But if you are a meat type, I was reading something this week regarding the prices of meat as we head into the summer. The expectations are that they're about to get expensive. Well, Tri-County has you taken care of. Why don't you go buy your meat in bulk right now? Whether you're a brand new griller or you're a type that stands over the charcoal or the gas or the pellets every weekend long, they have boxes put together for you right now. Buy in bulk and save some money. It's already boxed, it's already frozen. From the intro to the chock full grilling box, they've got everything in between. Whether you're searching steaks or you're searching for a variety of things to put in your freezer that is going to be top quality and ready for you, head over to Tri-County right now. Over on Huebner, they're waiting on you. They'll put together the box. They got 4 or 5 different versions of these boxes that can be bought at a great rate for lots and lots of the best meat you can find. That's why I love Tri-County Meat Market, because every time I go in, there is something new to get or a better idea than they've had in the past. And these frozen meat boxes are outstanding. Now let's get to the task at hand. This weekend, specials are in play. If you're a first responder, you always are getting 10% off. And never leave a Tri-County without taking advantage of the 5 for 25. 2 locations, Huebner out on Ralph Fair. Whether you're chasing the biggest porterhouse you've ever seen or a frozen goat for cabrito, they've got it. Don't forget to chase those rubs and everything that goes along with upping your grilling game. Make Tri-County a stop every week. Go there today, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Sean Elliott joining us here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Clearly, the year hasn't gone the way most of us thought. Why do you think this team hasn't been able to win more games?
Well, I think there are a lot of things that go into it. I think it's the mindset. It's basketball IQ. We're not there yet. And, what I would like to see, Jason, I'd like to see us learn from our mistakes. And, that hasn't been consistent enough.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, Joel, it's my favorite time of the year. It's rodeo time, and I've got the best quarter moon marketing idea ever. It's all about branding. So I've got this. It's called a branding iron.
Folks, you don't need a branding iron to remember Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quarter Moon has the expertise, local talent, and fast, reliable service.
So how does the branding iron work?
Well, are those new pants?
Yes. Why?
Turn around.
Turn around my...
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899.
License number M16004.
DACLA 000743445.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's good!
Your home for Major League Baseball. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In college football news, Texas Longhorns athletic director Chris Del Conte at a town hall yesterday revealed that a grass football field is coming to DKR probably by 2026. He said his goal is to move this year's Texas A&M to November 30th, back to November the 28th. That's where the old series used to go. And finally,
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wemby three. Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembenyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, all eyes on us. You know how you do that? You go to our YouTube feed. You can see us live. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. You are comfortable on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We call our little outing the Morning Huddle. We do it every day from 6 to 10. If you're getting here late, you know where you go. You go to sasportstar.com. There are so many things that you can do to better yourself and the lives of others. You can get yourself signed up for our golf tournament. We are playing soon. The end of March. We're over half full. If you want to play, you better get yourself signed up. You can get yourself signed up to win some money. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can subscribe to our channel. You can use that as a portal to many other things, as well as the past. We call it the Audio Vault, brought to you by AA Best Bell Bonds. You missed any of us or anything else that was live here, you can go back in time and take it with you there at the Audio Vault. How's everything, RJ?
It's well. It goes well. By the way, on the subject of the golf tournament, that might feature Rob and I doing the Hot Ones Challenge.
Yes, I think so. As we chase certain goals, as I'm sitting next to our designated hitter, our Private Ryan, our digital dude. I don't think he knows this, that RJ and I are thinking of having a Hot Ones contest if we reach a goal of sorts, and we'll see how far we can go with that. What would be, we need Saving Private Ryan, come up with a number of appropriate that would be something that we could chase, that if we got, it would be worthy of watching.
Yeah, I think that we should, again, the idea is we determine an amount of YouTube subscribers that we have to hit before, let's say by the Monday, maybe the Friday before the golf tournament. We have to hit a certain amount of subscribers by the Friday before. And if we do, Rob and I, we order the Hot Ones Challenge, which you can do, and we will do it.
So we're ordering it. We're not gonna manufacture our own. We're gonna get the official challenge.
You can order it, and so we'll order it. And at the golf tournament after the show, an early lunch, we'll do the Hot Ones Challenge.
I don't know if I can get past 4.
I think you can. I mean, it's the bomb that really kind of messes.
See, who's the one that got that far?
They all get that.
Well, no, the one that I remember watching the dude that was fine.
I mean, some people handle it better than others.
I watched
but
Jennifer Lawrence throw a tantrum.
I mean, for the most part, I think people, handle it pretty well. But we'll do it. I mean, we have to set a mark, and if people don't subscribe, then that's on them. And we'll upload the video as a YouTube exclusive.
The game last night did not go as planned, though Wemby did.
Dude.
And I'm not I am kind of a conspiracist. Ask me about Alaska Pox and something in space. But the timing of the amplitude of Wemby I find very interesting. I want you right now, anybody who's close to their device, I want you to go to ESPN.com and just scroll and look at their front page. Just look at the page of the newspaper that you get on your and just look at the number of Wemby pictures on this front page.
On where? What's the challenge?
Just go to ESPN.com. Just go to the website and just scroll through as you look at the NBA and all the stories they've got. I'm looking at, so above the fold, when you open up ESPN.com, of course, NFL rules, and they're offering you 32 NFL teams, 32 big offseason questions. It's things we do here. Then you go down to SVP and the parade and all the horribleness. And then you start getting into the meat of sports. So the next story, a real problem. What NBA players already think of Victor Wembanyama. That was published 2 hours ago by San Antonio's own Andrew Lopez. Story right underneath that. Wemby's rookie season highlights have the NBA buzzing. That's right underneath that. Scroll even further down. More highlights of Wemby. More pictures of Wemby. This is the Wemby unveiling the NBA has already choreographed. And the Spurs record be damned. We're not going to talk about the Spurs or Pop. We're going to talk about a point a minute. We're going to talk about a triple-double in times that have never been done and all these records that continue to fall. And now ESPN's also offering all of Wemby's passes. Now, he's been doing this all season long. This isn't the first time he's had a no-look. That's happening every game. I just find it very interesting that right now, as we head into the NBA's biggest weekend, as we head toward the playoffs, that the two stories that are rocking, one that's fake, that doesn't really matter, and one that's real. The trade that didn't happen with LeBron and the realness of Wemby has everybody heads to Indianapolis. It's not about how good the Clippers are and the huge comeback they had last night, beating the Golden State Warriors who are having a run. It's not about Boston beating a team by 50. It's not about Embiid sitting and watching. It is about Wemby and his greatness, yet it is still not enough for the Spurs to have won 12 games out of the 55 they played.
Damn. Go off, King. You don't need the hot ones. You're already sweating. You know what I mean? Dude, who disagrees with you? Right? I mean, it's frustrating in that he's this crowned prince of the NFL. Like, not even crowned. Like, he is this, I'm trying to think of like an apt situation. He is basketball royalty. And I think it is universally acknowledged. And not just in terms of his credentials upon arriving in the NBA, but he has proven it. He has proof of concept that he is this person. We've ripped through all sorts of stupid statistics. I mean, the other night, the triple-double, the blocks, it hadn't been done in a million years with blocks, hadn't been done by a rookie since David. Again, he is in rarefied airspace, along with whatever Russian thing you saw on the news. So he is in this really, really, really special pantheon of greatness. And even he, in all of his might, in all of his power, with all of his invincibility, cannot drag the Spurs to 12 wins before the All-Star break. It's sad, dude. It's sad. We use the term waste too often in sports. Mm-hmm. This is a literal waste of an incredible season. Forget that he's a rookie. Forget the hype. Forget whatever. The numbers he's putting up, they are wasting an all-time season by a basketball player. Wasting it. Absolutely pissing it away.
There's no other way to put it. And I'm waiting as this spotlight hits Wemby for those that from the national media and the press to ask, why aren't your team winning more? What is it about you or about the other 14 dudes that are suiting up that you guys, despite you getting a point a minute, despite you blocking shots from all over the place, and that's up significantly, you guys can't win? In fact, what happened last night? We watched the team burst out of the blocks and run away from the Mavericks for 12 minutes.
And then
it got different. Then they forgot how to shoot. They forgot to hustle. They forgot to do everything that is not about basketball acumen, because I don't expect shots to fall every night, but at least you can get back on defense. I'm so sick of hearing Pop talk about transition defense and how they didn't get back. That's every postgame. Every postgame. Well, we didn't shoot very well and we didn't get back on defense. He can just can that like a weatherman in July.
Okay, so my response to Pop is then get better shooters and get better defenders.
Yes.
Right? If you struggle at kind of, I don't know, the two foundational elements of the sport, maybe get better people who can do that at a more sustainable rate. And I'm so sick of the excuses, and because it's been one excuse after another. Before the road trip, it was, oh, well, they're tired. Get the hell out of here with you're tired. And now it's, you just, shots don't go in. Yeah, they do for the good players. You know what I mean? Like, they don't if you've got your talent. And it's actually really, I would say, mean. That the word I would use is it's mean to trot out these other 14 dudes, because you are making them look bad. You are making them become the subject of everyone's concern and vitriol and skepticism, and people saying like, dude, your team sucks. Like, you've got one amazing dude and 14 awful dudes. When the reality is, yeah, when you put those 14 dudes together in this amalgamation, it's going to be awful. But if you properly took care of the team and pioneered the ship and steadied the waters in the way that, I don't know, you're supposed to, it would not be like this. Devin Vassell could be a solid contributor to a functional NBA team. Jeremy Sohan, the same. We can go on and on and on. Just the players who were not enough to be 2s and 3s and 4s can be proper 7s, 8s, and 9s. But that's just, you are setting them up you are hanging them out to dry at the end of the day. Wemby included.
And it's worth questioning. And there have been zero questions regarding that. Now, you could always respond to making them better. I mean, you have to go through. You got to go through the jungle to get to the beach. Now, it might be a jungle or a beach involved, as Pop talked yesterday about his players getting to enjoy a little time off.
Enjoy themselves. That's what I'm going to do.
What do you think that involves with Pop? What do you think an enjoyable 4 days off, 5 days off?
Do you know, Netflix, maybe the We Are the World documentary?
Yeah, that's what I'd recommend.
A nap, not traveling, not being in the glamorous hotels that they get to be in. That's the other thing. Like, okay, so like 2 days ago, whatever it was, 2 or 3 days ago, we got the best job in the world. We get to roll around playing basketball, staying in amazing hotels, eating amazing food. And now it's like, we need a break.
We got to get out of this.
How is that? How can you flip flop that quickly?
Would it bother you if, there was a banana boat getaway, a Cabo?
Rob, at this point, nothing can bother me. Like at this point, we are beneath ground zero. We are underneath the rubble. We are we're on the same playing surface as the liquid magma that is underneath the ground. Like we are so low. We're actually so far in negative longitude that we're actually about to come out the other side of the earth. We're closer to that, you know what I mean, than where we initially began. That's how down bad I am.
We'll find him back again next Thursday. We do it every day. Talk Silver and Black at 7 o'clock. Prep for the game and our picks tomorrow for all those weird champions and awards that are going to go on over the weekend. Hey, coming back, we got more Cowboy talk headed your direction. And your grievances, they do need to be aired. But next, Mike Zimmer. Is he a jerk? We'll tell by the clues. He probably is. We'll talk about that next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. A lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. Over there on San Pedro, you know where it is, 13400 San Pedro right there in Bitters. One of my favorite places to go for a lot of reasons. It's not just about the restaurant and the bar, which is a reason to be. It's not just about the atmosphere and the great games and all the prizes that go along with being a San Antonio Card House member. It's a vibe. It's a thing that you get. Whether you're a brand new player, they have brand new classes for you to get you interested in playing, to teach you how to play the game. They got great membership rates. They've got food to serve at great atmosphere while you're playing, or if you just bring your friends and family to play. But it's an atmosphere of success and fun, and that's why I go to SA Card House, and that's why you need to give them a try. Go check out their website, sacardhouse.com, but you're not going to know until you go. It's a private social club waiting for you to come and play. It's at Bitters in San Pedro. It is my SA Card House. Head there today. Thank me later.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
An altercation with an overzealous fan on Wednesday evening in Las Vegas. Apparently, the NBA top draft pick, Victor Wembanyama.
Very nice.
Okay.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at mrelectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
Good morning, everybody. Coming up on the Blitz, reaction continues to pour in. Mike Zimmer, the new defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about that. Plus, the rest of the NFL as John McClain joins us, the general. He'll be here at 5:15. And the Spurs, well, they head into the All-Star break. We'll react to what happened in Big D last night for the Silver and Black. Rob, I hope you're teaching RJ how to be as romantic as you are.
Well, who can, really? Some are born to greatness. Others have it thrust upon them. We'll figure out where RJ lands there. Happily married, a couple years in. My marriage has gone from analog to digital, baby.
Yeah, I saw you had a precious post on Valentine's Day, Rob. That's the word I would use, precious.
You do that when you in lieu of a gift. It's like, I can't give you a raise, but I'll give you a new title. I don't have a gift, but I have a lovely Facebook post.
I also think, people, not everybody knows about your phone, and taking a selfie is not an easy thing with that thing. I mean, that was a sweet endeavor in a lot of ways. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure that we all celebrated appropriately. Have you seen all the? I think it's funny on Valentine's Day that all the pressure you're under to go date and go do something. I wonder how many first dates are on Valentine's.
I mean, that would be.
Anybody listening go on a first date last night?
Maybe not last night, but maybe anybody listening ever go on a first date on any Valentine's Day? How about
That's what I'm saying. That's not a first date night, is it? A lot of pressure on that one.
No, that's like saying, "Oh, I'm going to watch, Return of the King as my first Lord of the Rings movie." You know what I mean?
You're doing it backwards.
You need the context of everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can't do that. That's a weird idea. Unless somebody listening did it, then good job you.
Yeah, if you did, let us know how'd it go. Especially if you're using
you're going to see him again.
Services.
So
yeah. So we got us a new. I'm sorry. We're going to air our grievances in a second. We've been talking about Zimmer all day, but I just read something I just can't get out of my head. I was reading the headlines. There was a Delta flight that was flying from Europe to Detroit, Amsterdam to Detroit a couple days ago. And it had to turn back early on into the flight because in coach, of course, someone had brought onto the plane a suitcase full of rotten fish or a bag of some sort and put it in the overhead bin. But at some point, as the flight attendants are apt to tell you, they could have shifted and things could have opened or changed while flight.
Oh, Rob, why are you telling us?
So this thing burst open, this bag, and maggots started falling out of the overhead bin onto the people beneath. So they turned the flight around to go back.
Why did we need to know this?
I just, it's the grand spectrum of the human experience that I find so remarkably interesting.
What do you do when you're not here? Like, what is entertaining you, and what are you reading?
Well, I'm reading about monkeypox and I'm cursing the gods of basketball. It was monkeypox before. Now it's Alaska pox. I'm just waiting for Mississippi pox. I don't know what those are going to be, but it should be pretty good. Or I could be reading about There's something orbiting our planet that I need to be worried about that no one's telling me. They're talking about it. I mean, the president said, "Hey, you think it's bad now? When do you find out what's up in space?" Everybody goes, "What? You think you're mad now? Wait till I tell you what's going up above us."
Well, the fish were closer to space than we were. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's what happened. Maybe they got closer. They got 30,000 feet closer, and everything changed.
I'm ready to put the Mike Zimmer thing to bed. I think this is one of those. Greg,
are you just tired? Like you've just been worn down?
Stew over the loss. You think about the loss. You react to the loss, but you wake up next morning and have breakfast. I'm considering today breakfast. Yesterday, Mike Zimmer was announced. I think that the Cowboys have done all that they can to keep us enthused about what was an average pick. And it's time to just move on and think about what is he exactly going to do? What can we expect from this guy? I don't think he thought he'd be here. I know we didn't think he'd be there, but guess what? He's going to be here. I think you're on that boat too, RJ. I think that you have slowly, as you have looked at the potential and the possibilities, gone, well, it could have been worse.
That's true, but I refuse to give them a gold medal for that. There's a lot of again, the caping and excuses that have been made. Well, what was going to happen with Mike McCarthy, lame duck here? If only the team were in complete and total control of that, right? Well, all the good candidates were taken because, Dan Quinn got hired late. If only they had been proactive, right? They could have, we talked about this yesterday. They could have moved on from Dan Quinn. They could have said, you know what, dude? I mean, if you're going to get a head coaching job, I mean, peace be with you. But we can't just sit around and wait for you to leave us high and dry 2 weeks into the offseason and have nobody left except for our buddy. I mean, so I'm not, the building got built, but I mean, they took 3 lefts when they could have taken a right is really kind of my perspective on all this. And I'm not going to, applaud them for doing their jobs. I'm not going to applaud them for that. I'm sorry. I get that you will, but I won't.
I'm not applauding. I'm accepting. But even before the hire, RJ, I see what's coming. This is a 1 year, this is interim, this is a substitute teacher.
Dude, but
this is
like,
interim.
That is so stupid to me that we would.
Oh, it is.
Why not adjust that? You know what I mean? Why not change that? Why sign up for this? That's dumb.
By their acts, by their nature, not just by just the acts of the last couple of weeks or since the loss.
But you know what this is, Rob? I got this. All right, watch me work.
I'm with you. Following.
This is so. I've been told I look like a lot of people in life. Ross from Friends is a heavy one. I also get the main guitar player from School of Rock. His name is Zach in the movie.
As he's aged, less so, but in the movie, yeah, man. There's a little bit of that.
So if you recall, the plot of School of Rock is Jack Black's roommate is a substitute teacher, and he gets the call that they need a substitute at some like prep school,
elite private school.
But the teacher is out for a prolonged period of time. What a horrible job by the staff at the school that they're just like, oh, we'll just have a sub, teach most of the year. No, what you would do is you would say, okay, well, our teacher's going to be out, and so we have to find a permanent solution. We can't just find
another
a permanent
teacher, not just
exactly.
a body.
We can't just have a permanent temp teaching and molding these minds. I don't know what this is. Who Barry Benson is. I don't know what movie this is.
No, I do see a little bit of.
But so my point is,
please go to YouTube right now.
Oh, we're just gonna have the temp or the and I'm not trying to diminish the value of substitute teaching, but like if you found out, if you were the principal at a school, Rob, and you found out in January that one of your teachers was going to have to miss, you wouldn't be like, we'll just get a substitute. We're just going to damage 4th grade for these children, and we'll send them to 5th, and they'll be totally ready, and they'll be ready to rock and pass their state mandated tests and all that stuff. No, you would say, what we're going to have to do? We weren't planning on this. We're going to have to roll our sleeves up and get dirty, and we're going to have to find a permanent solution, a long-standing process, even if it means we're going to have to do some work. This is lazy, and it's going to lead to nobody learning anything. That's what this whole process is.
Yes, and I've accepted it. I've embraced the suck. I've taken in the foster pet. Wow, I know it's going to leave. I know I'm not going to get too attached. I'm not going to buy a dish with his name on it.
Wow.
Because I know this time next year, we're going to be looking for a head coach. We're going to be looking for an offensive coordinator.
So why not do that now?
I completely agree. And what happens if San Francisco steps out there? And what if they go hire a Mike Vrabel? What if they go hire a Belichick? When that could have happened, when the idea of what the transition might be if Shanahan doesn't live up to it, they've already taken a step toward that direction.
I think that they are just banking on all of us wearing down and losing the will to fight. And you have already done it. You like to stick with your foster pet analogy. You're sitting on the recliner watching TV, and it hopped up with you.
That's right.
On your feet, and you're like,
oh, it's kind
of nice.
Yeah.
You're like keeping my legs warm, keeping me company, like man's best friend. You
might even get a name. I might even name you.
Yeah, you can live here for a little while, and who knows? Maybe they won't come for you, and we'll figure things out. And I applaud that level of aloofness. Maybe I have too much personal anxiety and too many control issues, and I have the need to understand all future plans and details and whatnot. But this just is DOA. So like the presentation to me that like, oh, dude, don't worry, it's only for a year. That's a whole year of life. That's a whole year of contract. That's a whole year of opportunity that we're just going to throw away because don't worry, it's just for a year.
It's just for a year. That's all I have to live by. And I'm a leaf on a stream, baby. I'm going to go down with you. I'm going to watch you enjoy it.
You're
I'm not going to give you a name
right now, Rob. I respect it.
I'm not going to buy the best dog food. I'll buy good dog food. It won't be that kind of refrigerator. Still going to be hard and crunchy, but I'm going to take care of you. And when they come get you, I'll wave goodbye.
Yeah, we'll go get you a toy, but not one of the expensive.
Oh no,
you know what I mean? Just something to
something to keep you occupied.
Something I can throw and you can go get.
What you're gonna get is the thread rope, the one that you can rip up real quick. You'll get it. It's not gonna be expensive, and it'll take you about a year. My dog, the other one, he gets that big old cow bone. That's gonna take that. That's the one that he'll get, or she'll get.
I'm just saying, I don't. Like I can't accept that. Oh, because it's just a temporary thing. It's fine. I mean, yes, it is okay, and it could be worse. But if that's the I know we've referenced him a lot, but our buddy Rob Statsger had a great line before the Super Bowl, and he was talking about Brock Purdy, and he said, "Can we say something that Brock Purdy is good at without starting the sentence by saying the things that he is not?" Oh. Like. Can it just be about him being good at something? And the problem is the necessary prerequisite to all this stuff. The problem is, look, this is only for a year, but the year won't be as bad as it possibly could have been. So what a win. What a dub. I know that I didn't make the honor roll, but I didn't fail the class. You know what I mean? Like, and that's, that's okay. I get to move on to fifth grade.
My life, man. I am the reason for the bell curve. I'm right there in the middle. Hey, coming back, you got grievances to air. We are ready to listen. Do your small Friday a favor and get rid of the negativity. I got a few things to get off my chest. I know RJ does. You get to do the same. 656-3776. You can call it. You can type it. You can go to the YouTube feed. Get it off your chest. We're airing grievances next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The boys are back from Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
You heard the big game on Sunday, and the boys made it back thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds and presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Next year, it's off to the Big Easy on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Granger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
Here they are. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Barry Benson, B-movie. RJ, check it out. We do it every day. It's our way of helping you begin your day and our way of ending ours as we close out the show with your opportunity to air your grievances. You got something bothering you, feel free to spout it out in a variety of ways. You can type it. You can talk it, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. I'll start. I saw a story yesterday with the Marvel universe, or at least the Marvel comic types and the DC comic types have come to some kind of agreement that now they're going to be publishing comics that involve both of the universes together or fighting each other or something. You know what? Have you heard this?
I haven't.
Well, I don't know where this is. A James Pledger question, and he's on the road to New Mexico. And then this is on the heels of a new Madam Web.
That movie came out yesterday. That I was aware of.
Is it like Mrs. Spider-Man? Is that what this one is?
I really don't know. I'm not caught up on the lore of Madam Web. I'm actually really behind on Spider-Man in general. I haven't seen the second Spider-Verse movie. It's on the list. I haven't finished the second Spider-Man game on PS5.
I mean the cartoon ones?
The
Spider-Verse ones are cartoons.
They're animated. Let's be adults about this. You know what I mean? They're animated.
Wait. What's the difference?
Well, they're a high level, animation. These aren't like just drawings.
Cartoons.
I mean, like these are. This is.
I didn't mean to defame it. I thought cartoon. I thought was a good thing to say.
Simplistic. This isn't a cartoon like the Looney Tunes. Like again, it's an advanced level of animation.
Cartoons.
So Cougs says in the Brigade Bar, Rob, there's a massive difference. LOL. Thank you very much. Again, you are defaming it. Whether now I think it's intentional, but it's
if it's not live.
No, but like cartoon. What you're saying, the version of what you're saying is like, if I were to be like, oh, I'm having filet mignon, and you'd be like, oh, you're having beef. You know what I mean?
Well,
like it's just
here's what threw me. I've watched the first Into the Spider-Verse. I didn't, or universe or whatever it is.
Wow.
I didn't realize that Spider-Man was a brother in that one.
Okay, these again. I don't even know where to begin with this.
I didn't mean to set you off.
No, but there are different spider people. I mean,
I
that's
didn't
the
know
whole,
that.
That's the whole
I'm
point.
learning this. And
I
now
told
we're
you that-
combining the DC. So we're going to get like
No, you the fact that you don't, that's too advanced for you
It
right now.
is.
That's
It is far.
no, that's what I'm saying. We like Pop needs to be with the Spurs. We need to just teach you basketball. We need to just get you caught up on Spider-Man right now.
If Mike Zimmer can have a podcast, I can enjoy a good cartoon.
If you call this a cartoon one more time, we're gonna have a problem.
Is Lion King a cartoon or is it animated?
That's a cartoon. This is an animated.
No, I'm even more
masterpiece.
lost. If that's a cartoon,
I'm
just
really
trying to
dislike
figure out what's going on in these two competing universes, and if the universes combine, are we not creating some sort of black hole, kind of cross the streams, the end of the world kind of thing?
I think that you need to walk before you, or crawl before you walk in this space.
Do you remember when they did the cartoons? You're probably too young. Like you grow up, you'd watch Scooby Doo and Josie and the
you think.
Pussycats.
So like now I understand why you think cartoons are what they are, because you're a Scooby Doo.
Right, I'm on the cartoon mind. But then after a while, they ran out of storyline, so then they would do a cartoon with Josie and the Pussycats and Shaggy and Scooby.
Or they would have like the Jetsons meet the Flintstones.
That fall back in
stuff.
time.
Yeah.
This is what this feels like with it's a jump the shark kind of thing that I don't understand. But I also understand it ain't aimed at me. I'm not supposed to understand.
Advanced cinematic animation
cartoons
being lumped into cartoons is regression.
No,
is that what
I think it's all the same. I think that I don't care how you color it or how you draw it. It's still drawn. It's still a cartoon.
I hope so badly, Rob, that the next time you go and order like a chicken tender meal and you're I hope you are so hungry, and I hope they bring it to you and they don't have the ranch, and you're just like, oh, could I have the ranch? And they're like, yeah, we'll be right back. And then you're just waiting, and you can't start the meal, and everyone around you is eating, and you are just like, man,
wow, that's just cruel and unusual. You think you didn't like that one? I'm about to make some people mad.
Okay, I have two, but I want to hear your second.
No, I want you to go. No, my first one doesn't really count. I was looking for more of an explanation.
I got in hot water, no pun intended, yesterday with my cooler thing because you guys are like, oh, this is like whatever. So maybe this is that. I do a lot of work on my computer, right? I think that's pretty obvious. So what I don't like is, through the course of work and the day and having a kid and two dogs and whatever, like the keyboard gets a little dirty. I would like to be able to clean it, but clean it like in an advanced way with maybe like a bleach wipe or something. And
of course,
there should be like a function where you can like lock the computer and you can clean it.
I've always felt that.
And,
yes.
and the keys don't get pressed. My computer doesn't have that, so like it inhibits me and hinders me from cleaning it the way that I feel is thorough and proper.
Engineered obsolescence. They want it to be dirty. I found that my I should be able to take the top off. I adhere to that. That is a worthy, and I further the grievance. I think that needs to be run up the flagpole.
Okay, so
a Heavy Metal was a phenomenal cartoon, one of the best ever made. Yes, Rudolph, I'm of that age that I watched that orb go through time.
Let's hear your second one because I bet it's
this
dumb,
one. No, this isn't
really
dumb, and I don't want this to come across as mean because I love them both.
Okay.
But if my basketball team is going to be terrible,
okay,
my broadcast crew needs to be excellent. And even on his best day, Matt Bonner is barely above exuberant. I mean, he's not even that. He's dull. On his best day, Matt Bonner, and he's lovably dull. But he's boring. He is maple syrup, man. And when I'm watching a game where we are terrible, and then the added excitement that is Matt Bonner, it's to the point where the game is literally unwatchable. Now, I understand, the rigors of the season, but Sean, why are you getting load management? Sean Maley gets load managed.
I'm not. I can't walk with you here. I don't have any beef.
Matt, I love you. Have a cup of coffee at halftime.
I mean,
turn up the juice, man. That was last night was not good for anybody, even the broadcast crew. We can do better than that.
I think you're allowing the basketball to contaminate your overall experience.
Unfortunately, they know. They brought in Beetle. They've done a bunch of other stuff to try to. If it's not Bill and Sean, we are way behind. And
I mean,
and we love you, Red Mom. You have your thing, but 2 hours of graham crackers and 2% milk, it's just not enough, man.
I mean,
and I know I'm kind of late to this because for the longest time, the only way I could watch local Spurs games was go through crack streams. So all I ever got to watch was the other team's broadcast for the most part. So I was looking fondly, and I remember well, and it's still really good. And I know, Bill, bless you, my prayers are with you, get well. And Sean, I know that Bill has some time that he has to move, but we got to do better than Matt. We got to do better. Give him some help. Do something. Last night was hard.
Again, it's really hard to call basketball. I mean, so I'm willing to give them some.
Am I alone? And I feel bad about it. Am I alone? Seriously, somebody come up and say I'm not alone in this. That I'm not blaming Matt for the failures of their team that he's having to do instead of just lackluster in-game broadcast. Because I don't want to be mean.
I'm not with you here, but I mean that's why grievances are grievances, because they're personal emotions and experiences, and I think the basketball's getting to you, and I don't blame you because it's tough. I have two more. The first one, I'll start with what's going to be less popular. You thought you were going to incite things a little bit there. As we've been talking this morning, EA Sports has revealed a Twitter handle at EA Sports College, and they have a logo.
Sounds good.
They have a logo, EA Sports College Football 25, and the bio for the Twitter handle reads, "Coming this summer, full reveal in May, #CFB25."
There is there's a lot of people right now who just went, okay. You better not be teasing me, man.
My grievance, and I hope I'm wrong. I pray that I'm wrong. My grievance is EA riding this wave of positivity, because I mean, you could, I don't know how you feel, Rob, but for anyone who doesn't, I'm the
greatest video game ever made.
But let's just use Madden. All right, because they haven't made EA, college football, NCAA football
since I was there. Forever. It's been a decade,
right?
More than a decade.
Again, the reasons behind that, whatever. Like, we're not here to relitigate that. But if you don't know, whoever you are, wherever you are, however you are, Madden sucks. Now, I will be straight up and tell you that I buy it every year because I love football, and I wish that I could turn that part of me off. But Madden sucks. There are so many people who have done. Go down YouTube, go down a rabbit hole. There are literally hundreds of features from older Maddens that are not in the current Madden.
Right.
There are very often times where, I mean, it is effectively just a carbon copy, cut and paste job from one year to the next, and they change some of the numbers. They put players on proper teams. Yeah, I mean, but they have literally removed functions from the game that used to exist in offline franchise mode that made building your team and your franchise feel legitimate and real in the way that a video game can. And they've removed it in an effort to prioritize things like Madden Ultimate Team, which are based off of microtransactions and people paying money to get cards or whatever the case may be. That's where their heavy focus goes. So my grievance, if you will, excuse me.
Grievance, that's a new one. I like that.
Is they are riding this positive wave. And today will be a day where everybody's like, oh man, NCAA is coming back, and it's going to suck. I saw there was somebody who covers Mississippi State football or Mississippi State athletics that filed like an injunction to access the documents that EA had like sought after, the rights or whatever. And they're not even using the standard Mississippi State uniforms or logos. They're using like a script state. It's like, imagine you're like a Bulldogs fan. You don't even have like the Block M logo.
Why aren't they? Is that because Mississippi State didn't acquiesce to the payment?
I'm assuming. I really don't know. But I mean, so they got that one Mississippi State set of uniforms to use in the game is my point. So like imagine, imagine if you're a Texas fan and they didn't have the all white uniforms. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is gonna underdeliver. That's my prediction. And then they're gonna be like, look, it was the first year that we did this in a very long time. Please bear with us. We were so excited to bring it back. Like they are masters at manipulating this whole situation. It will underwhelm and underdeliver, and they're going to exploit how much people love college football. That's my prevent.
I think your prevent is correct, though not intentional.
Well, I wish it weren't true. I would love to be wrong, and I hope that I am, and that the game comes out and it's overwhelming and it's awesome, and dynasty mode is amazing, and all the things that we love about the game are true. But I just don't think that that's going to happen, unfortunately, based on the way they've had, even FIFA, which, I mean, you've told me FIFA is where they really devote their attention.
Yes.
FIFA is the same exact way in that it really doesn't, experience much change on a year-to-year basis. They really don't prioritize that element of the video game.
For those that have played the games and played NCAA when it was real, back something about 05, that 10-year span, it was a growth of an entire genre of video gaming and the dynasties and things that we all built that we have missed for so long. If that's truly back, there's no way it can live up to our memory of it. But I do expect it to be moderately successful in that I know the guys at EA that are behind this, the investment that had to go into getting the guys paid to do this, the very reason it went away, that there's a huge effort to make sure the game plays. This is a big investment.
That could, because if it's based around the same engine that powers Madden, we're all in a bit of a spot.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the way that those games run, essentially what EA Sports does, at least and I haven't been in that business, I haven't been with them for over a decade, but while I was there, every game basically plays on the same premise. There's a driver behind the game, and FIFA is the engine that powers NHL, that powers NBA, that powers Madden, the basic workings of the players and the movement. That's all one thing, and they augment it inside of other games. But new stuff starts with FIFA, and it trickles down. So if you haven't seen it in FIFA, it's not going to be in Madden. It's not going to be in NHL. It's just not there because hadn't been done yet. And if it's new, it goes into FIFA. And every now and then they try to add stuff, little things on the periphery. And I haven't seen much new in FIFA, so I don't expect much new. But I can tell you this. The NCAA football will come out with a bang, and there'll be some things in there that we do not expect.
Last year, when they released the Madden trailer, I quote tweeted it and used a screenshot. They didn't have the new updated Arizona Cardinals uniforms.
But there were some fixes. I mean, they'll fix that as
no, but dude, like, how can you it's your trailer to announce the game to the world? You know what I mean? One of the developers, hit me back and was like, "Oh, we'll actually have it updated for the game."
Blah, you heard back from a dev guy?
Well, yeah, and then I said, actually, speaking of Stats, a few years ago on the SB Nation NFL show, Stats and I wanted to talk to a developer at Madden and address criticism that the game was getting. They wouldn't let us. EA specifically prohibited anybody from talking to us. And then we went and found a dev ourselves who was willing to go on record, and they wouldn't let him do it. And so I told that dude, I was like, hey man, okay, you say it's going to be updated. I would love to have you on any show that I do to talk about criticism of the game. And I never heard back from him. So they duck and run, man, and I would love to be wrong on this, but a lot of history would suggest that I'm not going to be. I have another grievance though.
Let's hit the phones. We got grievances later.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Rob dial 656-3776. He's got a problem. Rob, air your grievance. Feel better.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with sports, but I don't get why when someone sneezes, everyone around them has to say "bless you." When I think this. Excuse me, just like when anyone expels anything else undesirable from the body, say, excuse me. I don't see why the bless you has to be given.
What about salud? Do we have, maybe it's just acknowledging that we heard. I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I feel like when it originated, there was concern that someone
might be dying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was a matter of oh, dude, bless you. Cause we might not see you anymore.
I always felt like it came out of when there was a plague and somebody sneezed and man, bless you, man.
I will say,
hope you're not dying.
If I piggyback off of this, when somebody has the the several, it's a bit of a grievance for me. You don't have to do it every sneeze. Just wait till they're
Wife
bless
is
you
a-
suffices.
My wife is a triple sneezer.
She's
Man,
a
I know to
machine gun
wait.
sneezer.
I know to wait. The sneeze, and people look at me like it's your wife. No, wait, there's more coming. So she gets just one.
Cougs,
Just one.
Coop says in the brigade bar that it's an old wives' tale that your heart stops when you sneeze.
That's what I'd been told. You know what makes my heart stop? A band called Interpol. If your heart goes to Twitter when I mention the name Interpol and you'd like to go see them perform live and in person, grab your device, dial right now 656-3776 656-ESPN. You can go see Interpol on us. They're here just around the corner. Let me give you all the details so you know you're dialing appropriately. Interpol will be at our beautiful Techport on May the 6th. It's going to be a big show. Techport's a great venue. You want to go, use those numbers, 656-3776 656-ESPN. You will be there for the Interpoleros tour. And I think if you're an Interpol fan, you're an Interpolero. So take that as you will. Caller number 3, you're going to see Interpol on us.
My final grievance.
I'm ready.
Congratulations to caller number 3. Tiger Woods plays golf today. He's playing in the Genesis this weekend.
He'll be wearing new clothes.
That's right. Sunday red. My grievance, this isn't true for Tiger, but we live in an era with an overwhelming amount of technology. We live in an era with so much technology that Rob is just all up, hot and bothered that the court underneath Saturday night's All-Star festivities is going to be lit
Going to
up.
confuse and
All right?
fluster me.
Why is there not a function or a capability to pick a golf tournament and pick the golfer I want to watch? Why? Why am I at the there is not another sport in the world in which I cannot watch the action that I want to watch. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I want to watch Colin Morikawa's round entirely, that's the sport that I want to watch. Why should I be at the complete and total mercy of the broadcast?
You know, that's a valid point. But the Masters are getting there. When you watch that
the
Masters
does
app,
offer that technology. Yeah. It does exist.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, why can't they? And maybe you can't do every golfer, right? Like that's not necessarily sustainable. But why can't you say, okay, we have 15 profiled golfers, and it's, you know, you're 15 kind of top dudes. And so I have the ability as a viewer to say, you know what, I want to follow this round today. I want to follow that round. I want to jump back and forth between this round, that round, whatever. Because golf is the only sport that is shown on the broadcast or on broadcast television that you actually see a significant minority of the action.
True.
Like, think about it. We miss more golf than we see when
because
we watch
there's
a golf
18
broadcast.
putts happening at any given time.
So why do I not have the ability to choose through them? Like, I mean, that seems fair and rational. Like, how can you have a favorite? Imagine if I was like, oh, Rob, get into golf. You're like, okay, cool. Well, this person's my favorite golfer. I want to watch them. If the Minnesota Vikings are my favorite football team, I can buy the Sunday ticket and I can choose to watch them specifically. You cannot do that with your favorite golfer. That's so dumb.
I get the sense you're not far away from getting what you want. I really do. I think because of the app-driven ability and the size of cameras, what we'll do here, I got an answer for you. We're just going to strap cameras onto every caddy.
GoPros.
This GoPro on their head, and they can just follow their own golfer. That way you can see them consistently and get the behind-the-scenes chatter.
That's what I want. No, so John Dyer says this in the chat that ESPN Plus lets you follow golfers. It lets you
Not all
follow
of them.
groups.
Right,
It lets you follow groups. Why can't I create my own group, my own golfer? It should be one singular person that I get to follow every day.
Maybe you need to, it's like meeting the top 20. You get into the top 20, you get a camera.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. You know what I mean? And so and put ads on there, ads specific to the players if you want. You know, I'll put up with some ads.
I think this is a worthy complaint, a grievance that needs to be addressed. This one goes front of the list. This is a good one.
I was on fire today.
You
had
were.
some
You've
weird
been
stuff today.
You've been ripping it up. I'll give it to you.
You were weird with the court thing.
I'm telling you, I'm going to end up being right. On Monday, I promise you on Monday, we're going to go at least one instance where we go, well, that was kind of weird.
Your space thing and your monkey thing. Like
that's all.
This was a left-footed day for you. You and left shoe kind of parking your car.
Let me tell you, there's something orbiting that we need to know about. And there is, in fact, Alaska pox. That state is seething with pox.
If you could go to outer space and visit one planet, what would you want to go to? Where would you want to go and why?
I'd go to Jupiter because that's where girls are stupider.
Is that a thing? Is that a line? Did you just make that up?
The Mars and candy bars and Jupiter and stupider. You didn't.
The words that you're using are is this the first time I've ever
Well,
heard
we wrote those back when we first saw them. I was around when we first saw Jupiter. Way back when. And we didn't really know what to do. So we sacrificed the Virgin, went and chased down.
It's got rings.
Well, let's kill something in honor of it. Hey, I want to thank everybody for hanging around with us today. I know how difficult it might have been. He is RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson. We have huddled up appropriately. Now it's time to break. We'll see you again tomorrow.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz,